But remember when some of you thought that Donald Trump was going to jail, and you were all happy that they were had all these charges against them, and the stupid liberals were trying to put him in jail before election, and they were working overtime to try to lock up the Great White Hope. Remember, they were in a rush because they were trying to do it before the election. And some of you were agreeing with it. And I remember that stupid black lady out of New York. I think she's a so-called DA or whatever she's supposed to be. She was like really happy to the point that she ran her whole campaign on putting Donald Trump in jail, going after Trump. And I remember there was a moment when she thought she had him and that somehow or another Trump was going to have to pay back all this money. And so she was like ready to get the keys to the hotel, Trump Tower, the Golden Hotel. She would sit on the front row, right at the end of the front row seat, watching Trump come in every day. Wasn't even doing her job. She up there waiting for Trump to come in so she could be shown on TV. What a mess. Can you beat that? That's evil, huh? And then this the so-called special counsel was saying that he had boxes of information in his Mar-a-Lago place. And the people were just all happy. Not all people, but the Democrats, the haters. A player got to play, and a hater got to hate. They were like thinking, what made you think you could put the Great White Hope in jail? Where's your mind? Well, lo and behold, and I noticed that I have not heard from my liberal callers congratulating us that Trump is, in a major way, the president of this great nation, or used to be great nation, Donald Trump. Y'all, Tony from I ain't heard from Tony. Where's Tony? I ain't heard from Tony from California. And when Jason called from New York yesterday, he didn't say congratulations. Maybe Tony from California going to the plantation. Remember there was a call to take the blacks to the plantation? Maybe Tony got the text, and he's on that plantation, wherever it is. Well, Donald Trump's so-called criminal cases dropped. According to ABC 7, a U.S. District Court judge dismissed the federal election subversion case against President-elect Donald Trump on Monday, after Special Counsel Jack Smith moved to dismiss it earlier in the day. Watch this from ABC 7.
Special Counsel Jack Smith today filed motions to drop all charges against President-elect Donald Trump. It involves his alleged effort to overturn his 2020 election defeat and promoting false claims of a stolen election in the lead up to the January 6th attack. Trump was charged with conspiracy to defraud the United States and obstruction.
The attack on our nation's capital on January 6th, 2021 was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. As described in the indictment It was fueled by lies.
In his filing, Smith said the merits of the prosecution's case has not changed, but the circumstances have. Smith saying as a result of the election and DOJ guidelines against prosecuting a sitting president, the case will not go forward. More than 1,000 people have been found guilty or pled guilty to participating in the January 6th attack. Trump has called them patriots and promised to pardon some of them if he won re-election. Smith also removing Trump as a defendant in the classified documents case. Trump was accused of mishandling government records, including holding on to classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago and Bedminster, New Jersey properties. The judge in the classified documents case, Eileen Cannon, a Trump appointee, dismissed the case this summer on the grounds that Smith was unlawfully appointed as special counsel. Smith is now asking to dismiss the appeal of the charges against Trump, but allow the appeal to continue for Trump's two co-defendants. Trump said during the campaign he would fire Smith on his first day back in the White House. Smith was expected to resign before Trump takes office in January. The president-elect's office issued a statement this afternoon calling the decision by the DOJ a major victory for the rule of law. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Don't mess with Trump. Da-da-da-da-da. Don't mess with Trump. Leave Trump alone. Don't mess with Trump. Find another Trump of your own. Smith is ticked. He wanted Trump. Like the people in hell want ice water. He wanted Trump. Now he going home crying in his milk. Drop your anger. Drop your hatred. Don't go after anybody like that. It's trouble in the land. Trouble in the land. I knew this woman a long time ago. And her husband, you could beat her every weekend. And when I would see her, I'm like, well, hey, how you doing? And she would be like, Jesse, there's trouble in the land. And I knew her husband had beat her that morning. There's trouble in the land. And because whites are afraid, it's going to only get worse. Yes, I'm hoping that Donald Trump make a change, smooth it out a little bit. But what happens when Donald is gone and you still have fear? Let me go to a first-time caller, Arthur, out of Boston. Let's see here. Arthur, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Hey, Arthur.
Yes.
Is this Arthur?
Yes.
You're on the air. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
You are.
Yes, I was just touching back on the basics of Jesus Christ is God.
Are you a first-time caller, Arthur?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And again, I'm asking, just to clarify, where you stand on Jesus Christ is God. How and what do you say he is not God on your previous messages?
Are you asking me if I believe he is God or the Son?
He is God, and he also is the Son of God. Determined from Genesis 1:1.
Meaning what?
That he is God in the flesh, as Emmanuel has come to earth to dwell with man. And as he was on the cross and he died for our sins, okay? He died. He redeemed his own flesh first because he has the power to raise himself up, okay? And he is the only man other than, you could say Elijah and others that were Enoch that went up into heaven with God. And that is by his choosing. And God so chose to save humanity.
Where are you getting all this information from?
From the Bible. I'm paraphrasing in one sense.
Where in the Bible does Jesus say, I am God?
You see, you're playing a smart remark because he spoke in parables. As he said,
how am I playing a smart remark? I know in the Bible where he says that he said that he is the Son of God, but I don't know anywhere in the Bible where he says that he is God. So I'm asking, I'm black and slow, so maybe I missed it. Where in the Bible where Jesus said, I am this God? He does say he is the Son.
I and the Father are one.
Right.
Said,
But
okay?
where he said he said that he and his daddy are one. But where does he say that he is God?
Well, okay. When when Mary was, received the Holy Spirit of God in her womb by Gabriel, okay? And when he said, you will be with the Spirit, you will be with Emmanuel, God with us. That presence of God was signed, sealed, and delivered to the earth as humanity. For God so loved the humanity that he gave
Arthur,
his
you
only
still
begotten
not
Son.
answering the question.
Hey, you're playing semantics on a word game written on a script. And by faith, and what God said, Jesus Christ, God said that he speaks in parable because for the foolish and the unwise will not perceive and not understand. But for those, like when he asked Peter and he asked the whole tribe of the 12, who do you say that I am? And then he spoke that it was from the Most High of the Father that gave him that understanding that he is the Messiah in the flesh to die on the cross. And if anything, you should not be speaking about Christ because you're a blasphemer. And I'm sick of it. Okay?
Why I am black, but why are you sick of it?
Because it offends me.
Why?
It offends the faith of Christianity. Because you are no different than Allah in Islam playing the stupid game of Allah. Allah. A third name of God. It means nothing.
Arthur, why are you so upset about it?
Because it makes me furious, and the wrath of God will be upon you.
Why are you so furious about it? Let's say I'm wrong. Let's say Arthur.
Go ahead.
Calm down. Take a breath.
It offends me in the Most High.
Arthur, calm down and take a breath. All right. Are you displaying righteous anger right now or unrighteous anger?
Of me and myself, I am nothing. I am not
righteous.
I
said, are you displaying righteous anger or unrighteous anger right now?
I don't want to be self-righteous. I'm speaking...
No. Listen, I asked you a question.
Okay.
You're very angry. You're very angry. Is it righteous anger or unrighteous anger?
Because I'm not angry at you.
But you're yelling at me.
Well, because in a sense, you're playing the same game. All right. Where's your faith reside?
So you are angry at me.
No. Well,
who you're angry at? You're talking to me and you're yelling at me.
All right. Time out. I'm going to do a timeout, and I appreciate your question, and it's bottled up.
You sound like parents be yelling at you, and they're like, I'm not mad at you. You are yelling at me. Who you yelling at if you're not yelling at me?
I watched your previous episodes where you had this discussion.
Who are you yelling at if you're not yelling at me?
All right, you're just carrying on with your offense. Stop taking the sense of offense, and let's get on the topic. And the topic
Stop doing what?
Let's stay on the topic and stop being offended that I'm angry. I'm angry because you want to keep saying, oh, where in the Bible? It's by faith. And when you read...
What's by faith?
You are a mocker and a scoffer of the Lord Jesus Christ.
What's by faith? Are you saying it's by faith you making up stuff?
No. When you read and understand that with the word God says about that he so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son.
No, about you believe Jesus God with no proof, and you said that are you saying you're making this stuff up by faith?
Wait. Any man, like for instance, it's not any man. We're talking about, it is written. Gabriel, all right, met with Mary and it gave her the breath of God in her womb. Like he pretty much said, here is the Spirit. Okay, you are with Emmanuel, God with you, God with man. Now that is written. That is actually stated in the Word. Okay, in the book of Matthew. I believe it's in chapter 5 or so or 1.
Are you black?
No, I'm not black. I don't play the ethnic game. The ethnicity.
Are you white?
equally, all humans
Are
are
you
a disgrace.
white?
Yeah, hey, listen, I am part Native American, I am French, and I am Canada, and I am friggin' Italian and Sicilian. I'm a mutt, and I don't favor any race. I think the human race is a disgrace without Jesus Christ. And you are a disgrace to Jesus.
So are you
because
like, if I saw you, would I see a white man or a black man?
You should shut up about Jesus Christ.
Why?
You are the problem.
Why?
Because you have no faith in him, and you do not believe he is the Lord Jesus Christ.
You
God
yelling
himself.
again.
You are a blasphemer.
You
will
yelling
go
at
to
me
hell
again.
and
Hey, you
if
yelling at me
Jesus
again.
doesn't come out and confess his pedophilia, you will go to hell as well as him.
Where's the love in your yelling?
Hey, you get over that love, okay? You get over that love. Love is of a great sacrifice. Love is of a great sacrifice. It is intolerable that you could say love when you deny the very deity of Christ that so loved the world. That's what's making me pissed off.
Whoa! You said the curse word.
Hey, I don't care. I am human and I am a sinner. Okay, let me tell you.
Do you have perfect peace?
Hey, my perfect peace is when I'm dead and gone off this earth.
Do you
Right
have
now,
perfect peace now?
Hey, I am at perfect peace calling you.
Do you have perfect peace?
Hey, you mocker of Jesus. You
Arthur.
Jesus.
Arthur.
Go right ahead.
Calm down. Do you have perfect peace?
Listen to me. This world has nothing to offer.
Arthur.
My peace is when I die, I go to heaven.
Arthur,
okay,
you didn't answer the question yet. Do you have perfect peace?
Listen, you mocker. Listen. A perfect peace is an
Arthur,
illusion.
you're not answering my question yet. And then you can follow up. Do you have perfect peace?
Not with this world. No, I don't.
And then what? So what good is it doing you? What good, Arthur? What good is it doing you to believe that Jesus is God and you still don't have perfect peace?
Because I am to call you out as a friggin' blasphemer that you are.
You're not answering the question.
Hey, listen to me, you little semantic word game. You are just as bad as the leftist liberal ideology. Everything that divides the people. And that's why I am angry. It's a justified anger, okay? It's a righteous anger against you.
Arthur, if you
represent Satan.
Arthur, if you believe Jesus is God, why don't you have perfect peace? He came that you might have peace.
Hey. It doesn't matter.
He came that you might have peace.
Again, he came that I may have peace. But with this
and why don't you have peace?
The double.
Arthur, why don't you have peace?
Hey, listen, you clown. I'm going to offend you right now.
You better not say nigger rah-rah.
Hey, no. I don't believe in that word, and I don't give a crap about that word. You're the one playing.
Nigger rah-rah is a country.
So, listen, you want to play games, right?
Arthur, where in the Bible does Jesus say he is God?
Okay, hey, when what was it? Pontius said to him, "Hey, who do you say that I am?"
Pontius didn't say that to him.
Oh, when he said to him about God.
No, Pontius didn't say that.
Well, when he said to him, he said, "Hey, that he said he was God," and then
you're not answering my question. Jesus said that he is the Son of the Father, and greater work shall we do than he's doing. He also said that we are a family. We are brothers in Christ, right? And so, where in the Bible does Jesus? He made it clear he was the Son. Why did he make it clear that he was God? If he made it clear he was the Son,
you are not comprehending the faith.
No, you're not listening.
No, you're playing your word games.
No, I'm asking you a question.
You have a psychological impediment, and you play these semantic words.
No, that's not psychological. That's black, man. What the?
Wait, black. I didn't say anything about color. You see how tuned you are to your race?
Yeah, I said I'm black and slow.
Excuse me?
I'm black and slow.
You're black and slow. See,
I'm black. I said I'm black and slow.
You're black and slow. What does your color have to do with that? What does your color have to do with it? See that? You perpetuate the race card. And listen to this one. Ethnos against ethnos is in the Bible. Ethnos against ethnos is in the Bible.
Who?
Okay. That ethnos, ethnicity. Your ethnicity, in the end times, ethnos. Every country, every nation, every people that is divided amongst themselves will end up going back to their own land. And there's going to be a
are
great
you
blood.
saying that blacks going to go back to Africa?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I see you put words in
You said
people's
they
mouths.
all going back to their own land.
Well, yeah, all races.
So
races,
will
like
the illegal aliens be going back to their own land?
The Persians went back to their lands because you know what? That's where you should, like, you're trying to gather Babylon again. All nations become one under the New World Order, under the new governance of the world. Every nation is becoming one. We speak one language.
Arthur, are you a Christian?
Hey, that word I will not mention because my faith is in Jesus Christ.
Are you a Christian?
Hey, that word means nothing.
Are you a Christian?
Listen, that word means nothing.
Do you love white people?
Christ is the foundation.
Arthur, do you love white people?
Listen, as I said about the human race, I don't care your color. It's like Martin Luther King says. It is not the color of your skin. It is the conduct of the character.
And so where is Martin Luther King now?
He's in heaven, I pray.
I rest my case.
Okay, what's your case then? I mean, I praise God that he stood what he stood for. Because
and so, Arthur, do you love white people?
White people are just as... Listen, it doesn't matter. You're trying to corner me into favoring one or the other. I'm white. I'm white. I have white
you said you didn't tell me you're white. You told me you were everything but white.
But I'm a mixed man. All right. So therefore, I take away the color race. Okay. When I tan, I turn brown. Okay. I turn
oh my God! Sound like a zebra. So Arthur,
listen,
you love white people?
Listen, my heart is right with humanity.
Arthur.
I look at individual. I don't look at color.
Arthur.
I don't look at color. What are you trying to tell me to look at color for?
Arthur.
Go ahead.
Do you love white people?
Listen, my love is there for anyone
Arthur.
and for everyone.
Arthur.
I love you in the sense that you're a human.
Arthur.
Go ahead.
Do you love white people?
Listen, that word is, white people, black people, brown people, yellow people, red people, they're all the same to me.
I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask that. That's not what I asked.
Well, that's where I am.
Do you love?
You can't comprehend that.
Do you love white people?
Listen. I love Jesus Christ.
I didn't ask about Jesus. I asked about whites.
Listen, I need to die from this world. I need to die of this world. All right? I'm not going to get trapped in your semantic games. You're playing words.
Arthur,
go ahead.
Do you love white people?
Listen, my heart to people, when you want to say white, that's entrapment. That's entrapment. Because you got mega
How is that
white...
How is that entrapment to say yes, you love white people or no, you don't? How is that entrapment?
White leftist group, and they identify on the far left, right? They're white leftists, right? They believe in, they could be whatever they defy themselves as.
Arthur.
They defy God.
Arthur.
No, I'm telling you the truth about humanity.
Arthur.
Humanity sucks. Okay, you need Christ. And I need Christ.
When the next time you call me, I want you to tell me where in the Bible does Jesus say he is God, all right?
Hey, you are...
It's in the Bible where he says that he's the Son of God, but nowhere in the Bible where he says he is God.
You should know... All right, where's your salvation?
Is that true?
Where's your faith?
Is that true, Arthur?
Do you believe in God? Do you? Stop it. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe in Jesus Christ?
I believe in God.
All right, and who is God?
He is the creator of all.
Okay, now...
Thank you, Arthur. I got to take a break. Back in a moment. 2 more hours to go. Back in a moment. I want to go to Christine. I asked Christine to call back from yesterday. We ran out of time there. And she is back. Christine, thanks for calling back from New Mexico. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that.
Yes.
So I guess I'll get started where I left off. When I was forgiving my father and how everything changed after that.
Right.
And so after that happened, when we hung up, it was so different. My father was so different with me afterwards. And I realized, like, even when you forgive your parents, you kind of help them with their traumas too. Because I noticed, well, when we were first starting to speak, he would still see me as a child from when he left the family.
Yeah.
And after forgiving him, he started talking to me different. Like, it's like he saw me in a new light as an adult.
Nice.
Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Fathers tend to do that, and some mothers, but it's harder for mothers because they love control over you. Even if you're an adult, they love controlling you, so they don't want you to see that you're an adult. But fathers tend to treat their adult children like adults. And you're right, especially once you go and deal with them by forgiving them.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right about how, I can't speak for everyone, but in my personal experience, my mom did always see me as a child.
Yeah.
And out of all the siblings, because I guess with her abuse, I was more silent about it and I endured it more. And so I think she did more to me because I was so tolerant. Well, I guess she thought I was tolerant of it, but I was just silent about it. And so they would always call me the good child, like, oh, you're the good child because you don't cause problems or you don't act out. And I was like, well, because growing up, my mom, I saw what she did to my other siblings, so that alone traumatized me. Yeah. And so I was like, well, I don't want to go through what they're going through. So I went a different way of handling it, which was probably worse than my siblings because where they kind of stood up and showed their boundaries, I didn't.
What happened in all families, there are children who rebel against the mother's evil, and there are those who can't handle her evil, so they submit to it, they give in to it. And it sounds like that's what happened with you. You gave in to her evil because you couldn't handle it. But the other kids couldn't handle it either, but they rebel. And the rebellious child tend to be the one that overcome sooner rather than later. Whereas the child that give in to the evil of the mother, they tend to suffer longer. But I'm glad that you're like waking up from that.
Oh, yeah. And it really made a difference forgiving her because, after I had forgiven my father and I realized I had to do the same with my mom, that was way harder because I guess it caused more anxiety because of enduring her for so long. So I was like, well, she's going to find out how I really feel because I never told her. So I had blocked her for like a year because when my first attempt to forgive her went through, it just made things worse. And she started harassing me, sending me texts like all the time. And she was just very menacing. Like she would drive by my house. She was stalking me for a while. And I was like, I need to get away from this woman. She's going crazy.
Mothers,
so I even blocked her.
Wow. Mothers hate children so bad. You could be 90 years old and they still call you baby. My baby. That's my baby. They hate the children so much. They love that control. If you try to get away, they ain't gonna let you go. You got to really break away from them and just ban them away from you.
Yeah. So when I decided I need to get in contact with her again, it took a week almost to just get to build up to it. So it took 2 days for me to just unblock her from my phone, and my hand was shaking doing that. And then I was like, all right, I'll reach out to her in 2 more days. I was pacing myself to it. And so 2 days after that, I had texted her, and I was like, hey, Mom, it's me. Like, I just want to talk you to you really quick this weekend. Is that all right? And I waited for that, and my heart was beating. And she texted back. She's like, yes, I would like that very much. And I was like, why did she say that she would like that very much? She doesn't even know what I'm going to talk to her about. And so
amazing.
My husband came home that night, and I told him what she said, and he started laughing. And I was like, what's so funny? He's like, well, think about it. Your brothers and your sister have tried to do this with your mom, too. And they stay away from her for a while. And then they come back crawling, and they're like, oh, Mom, I was wrong for hating you. I'm so sorry. And they start kissing her butt, kissing her hand, because she's used to being like a queen in the family.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, yeah. And he's like, she doesn't know what she's in for, huh? And I was like, no, I guess not. So I'll just let her think what she's going to think. So that weekend comes up, and my husband's like, I'll drive because you're nervous. So just, I'll drive you, and then we'll take off. And I was like, all right. So I had texted her that I was coming over to the house, and my husband, I was so nervous even going to her house because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually going to like be honest with her for the first time. And when we were children, seeing how she would act, like if you tried to be honest with her about anything, she was so much in denial about it.
Yeah.
It was almost like performing an exorcism on her. She started acting crazy.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know how she's going to be, but I was like, okay, like I was remembering everything he said, like everything I'm feeling, it's not me. This isn't me. This is just something I'm going through.
Nice.
To progress.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to pull myself out of myself, and I was thinking, God's with me, and that's all the support I need right now. So I go knocking on the door, and she answered it. She was dressed really nice. Like they were about to go out to have breakfast, and I was like, oh, I remembered why when my family had done that with her, and they've come back crawling to my mom, she would take them out to eat because she's like, oh, we're going to celebrate because we're back together again.
Right.
And so she's like, well, we're going to go out to eat in a little bit if you want to come with us. I was like, no, it's fine. Like, I just want to, tell you just something really quick, like I texted you. And she's like, okay. So I walk in the house, and she closes the door and locks it. And I was like, oh my gosh, she locked me in the room. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, do you want to sit down? And I was like, no, what I need to say, I'll say standing up because, like I said, it's really quick, and I'm going to leave here soon. And she's like, oh, okay. So she stood between me and the door. And I was like, man, this seems so symbolic right now because, like, there's my husband and my son outside and my new life, and there's the door, and there's her standing between that. So I was like, this has to be done. And so I just told her, Mom, I know we haven't been talking for a while, and I've been doing some soul searching, and I'm going to tell you this. I found God again. And she's like, oh, that's good. And I was like, yes. And I've realized the things that have pulled me away from God. And I just want to tell you before I start that I'm never going to let anything come between me and God again. Nothing and no one. No one comes between me and God. And she was like, her eyes opened up like, okay. And so I just started with the forgiveness. I was like, Mom, I just want to let you know that I forgive you for all the mean and evil and horrible things you've done to me. And, man, I just saw her face change completely. But she's like, I never did anything mean and evil and horrible to you. And I was like, Mom, let me finish. And she was like, oh, okay. And so I was like, I forgive you for all those things. I forgive you for all the traumas. I forgive you for all the mental and emotional abuse. I forgive you for trying to live through me like I'm your puppet. I forgive you for sabotaging me every time I tried to progress financially and spiritually and in my relationships with other people. And I understand you can't help yourself. You just can't. And you did the best you could. And she's kind of doing this Kamala thing where, like, I'm talking to her and she's just talking over me, trying to talk and respond to everything. And I was like, I'm just not going to listen. I'm just going to keep going. And then I told her, and I finally forgive you for turning me away from my father. And she's like, what? And I was like, let me finish. And she's like, she started getting agitated. And I was like, and I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, too, because I know you did the best you could, and I hated and resented you this whole time. And that's when she got shocked because she didn't realize that I had these feelings towards her this whole time.
Amazing.
And I was like, yes, I had a deep hatred for you. And I'm sorry that was wrong of me to do that, and I'm never going to do that again. And she's like, okay, thank you. And so I took a breath, and I was like, so I just want to let you know all this before I move forward in my life in peace and without you. And she's like, without me? I was like, yes, Mom. I want to live my own life, and that's what I'm going to do. And she was just like in shock, looking down at the ground like, oh, my gosh, my kid's going to leave me. And so I was like, okay, I said what I had to say. I need to get out of here. And I saw the door behind her, and I was like, I need to go through that door now. And so I gave her a hug and a kiss, and I was like, I hope one day you find peace, Mom. I really do. And I love you. I wish you well. And goodbye. And so I unlocked the door, and I'm halfway through the door thinking, yes, I did it. And she grabbed my arm and pulled me back in the house.
Whoa.
And she just got in my face, and she's like, but you're my daughter. And I know I'm not her daughter anymore.
Right.
I'm God's daughter. I've moved on spiritually. But it just came out of my mouth something, and I was like, you're God's daughter too? I highly suggest you go find him before it's too late. And I pulled her arm off me, and I jetted out of the house really fast. And it just felt so surreal after that. I don't know if it was the adrenaline of it all. But when I walked outside, walking towards the car, like it seemed like everything slowed down. Like I was moving. You know how you have those dreams where like you're running and you're not going anywhere?
Right.
I just felt like I could not walk fast enough to that car. And the sun, everything turned hypercolor. And I was like, oh, the adrenaline's affecting my vision or something. And so I get in the car and my husband's like, are you okay? And I was like, this is the best I've ever felt in my life. I feel like I just took like 100 pounds off of me.
Yep.
And he was like, all right, you ready to go celebrate? Yeah. And we celebrated by going to the voting booth early and voting for Trump.
There you go. Amazing. An amazing update on that.
Yeah. And I'm very grateful for your teachings, Jesse, because I think I told you yesterday I felt like I had all this knowledge that was stuck in me.
Yeah.
And I've been doing the silent prayer as often as possible in the morning, at night. If I'm doing something like doing dishes or something, I'll like practice being present and paying attention to everything. And you're right. Like there's just a process after that forgiveness where God comes in and starts purifying you.
Yeah.
He purifies your thoughts, your emotions, your awareness, and all of that knowledge I had just converted into wisdom now. Like everything I'm learning makes sense and I can apply it to my life.
That's deep. The one thing, as you were speaking or reflecting, I was thinking, the greatest, one of the greatest tricks that Satan has played on mankind, men and women, is to make them think that evil comes through the father when it's really coming through the woman. It comes through the mother. And he has used the mothers and the media and the churches and everybody to believe that the evil comes through the man, the father. And as a result, the problem has never been resolved. But now that some people waking up and they realize that it's the mother that they're angry at, that they hate, and not the father, they yearn for the father. And now that they're waking up and they're going and forgiving their mothers, they're starting to be free. But the mother doesn't want you to know that it's her. And it's not her that doesn't want you to know. It's the evil spirit in her because Satan is the woman's God, right? And he doesn't want you to know he's working through the woman. And it's amazing that how prevalent that is, not only in America, but in the whole world, that Satan has deceived everybody to think that the woman is the victim when she's really the victimizer. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Because I even saw that in me before I started going through this whole process of shedding all the false lies and everything about me, the false emotion, everything that was put in me since I was a kid. And it's hard. It does take a process because unless you really want it, like you said, it's faster when you really, really want it.
When you want it, yes, that's right.
Because it's like before I was going through it and it was like a slow process, but I was seeing it happen. And then after that, I was just like, I don't even care if I want it or not. The fact is, it's important. And so it's just been incorporated into my natural way of being every day now, where it's just not something I practice or it's not even second nature anymore. I feel it's becoming my being now, where like I'm just doing it without thinking about it.
Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. You haven't seen anything yet. Your mind will become clearer and clearer and clearer. And eventually, because now that old nature is being destroyed, it's being taken away from you, the ego is dying. Eventually, you will have a clear mind and you will have no anger, no judgment of yourself or anyone because you will have understanding. And understanding is what we all want.
It doesn't even matter.
Right.
And you've definitely made a donator out of me, Jesse, because I was telling my husband, I was like, I feel better than I did since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, when you're a kid, you have that innocence. And I was like, I feel better than a child.
Yes.
Or the way I see the world. It's just so, I just see it with more curiosity now.
Right
instead of judgment. I'm like, why is it like that? Like I start questioning things which, kids mostly do to try and understand the world.
Yeah.
And so my husband's like, yeah, we'll start donating to Jesse. So every payday we send our support to you.
Thank you.
You all
I
do
can
a
use it.
wonderful job.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I got to run, but I want you to stay with it. Amazing testimony. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. No matter what happens. And you're going to find yourself without your effort being in the world, but not controlled by the world. You won't be afraid. Everybody else be freaking out over everything, but you won't. You will have perfect peace.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you so much. And I want to wish you and the whole team a very wonderful, happy Thanksgiving this week.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. How about Hake? You want to wish Hake a happy Thanksgiving?
Yeah, have a happy Thanksgiving, Hake.
Thank you.
Gabba, gabba. I mean, Kristen, call me again, and happy Thanksgiving to you and the family as well.
Thank you, Jesse. Have a great day.
Amazing call. Thank you. Amazing. I want to show you something quickly, and then I get to the call. And I just think that America should not put up with this anymore. At some point, you got to be, no matter what you got to go through, and there are situations always happening in life, but you're not supposed to be subject to the situations. A situation is just a situation. And at some point, you do what you want, but you should put your feet on solid ground and not be subject to situations. A situation is just a situation. And not only do you bring your own situations on yourself by listening to your imagination, which is not you, all thoughts are all lies all the time, but other people who are evil are going to bring situations upon you too, because I want you to listen closely. They have accepted evil as their home. They want to be evil. They love evil. They love the thrill of evil, of feeling good, feeling bad. To feel good and to feel bad are both evil, right? Up and down. And there are people who love that. They'll impose that on you so they can get a thrill. And that thrill to them feels like life, but it's hell, it's death. But they get a thrill from their own misery inside of them, their own fears and their own doubts and their jealousies and their enemies and their strife and their suicidal thoughts and their revenge and loneliness, whatever. It's a thrill. And they get a thrill when they can impose what they call pain upon you. They love it. And the reason they do, because they have accepted hell as their home. They love misery, right? But at some point, you need to be in control of your own life, because you are your world. And no one can enter into your world with their fake love or their misery unless you allow them to do it. They cannot get in on their own. They'll try. And then they'll build an army against you, because most people are so weak, they have to join groups, right? And so they'll join an army against you to try to get in to hurt you. But you have something greater in you than the whole army has on its own, right? You just don't know it yet. Do you know that it's so, I understand it. What I'm about to say is, I understand that these people are lost and they cannot see. And so they just don't know. But most Christians don't know that the kingdom of heaven is within. Most Christians don't know that it is done. It is finished. It's over. The battle has been won, and that God has nothing to do with evil. Evil means nothing to God. Zero. And evil hate God. That's why I tried to destroy you. But most people, they're still waiting. They're waiting for something to come. And as a result, they don't know the kingdom of heaven is inside, that hell has been defeated, Satan that's why you shouldn't even communicate with Satan in your mind. You should have no relationship with the devil at all because he's been defeated. He's lost. He has zero power, none. And that's why he worked overtime to influence you, to make you destroy yourself. And he rejoices. But at some point, America needs to put their feet down and say no to this idea of racism. And America should not hire black people and women who believe in misogynists and the gays who are these victimizing people, these DEI people. America should just not hire them into their companies. The moment they say they're DEI, they're gay, or they this, just say no. We don't. That position has been filled, even if it's still open. They should just say no to it. That's all you have to do. As Nancy Reagan used to say, just say no. And if you have to go to court and fight it, fight it. Fight, fight, fight. When will you stand up and fight for your life? You're dealing with evil human beings. And so all these people into their culture and the DEI thing and crying racism and sexism and all that, those are evil people. Why are you giving in to evil? Why are you giving in to something that has, or someone that has no power at all? Just like in your mind when you communicate with the devil, he gives you a false impression that he has power, and you believe it and you act out. Likewise, the children of the lie, of evil, they roar and they scream and they cry and they yell, but they have no power. That's why they're acting out like that. Let them cry, let them yell, let them whatever. It's on them. That's their world. It's time out. White people, stop hiring the blacks in your business. Don't let them teach at your schools. Don't let them attend your schools. If they're going to come in with all that mess, and they will, because they know you're afraid to throw them out if they do. Black students claim experiencing racism in school surrounding election week. This is from Fox 11. Beverly Hills High School, right down the road. I can almost look out my window and see Beverly Hills High School from my office. Almost. Not quite. Beverly Hills High School teacher Bella Ivory recalled what she said was a scary moment at school the week of 2024 election when a parade of students supporting President-elect Donald Trump marched down the hallway in front of her classroom. Watch this from Fox 11.
I'm going to tell you how scary it was.
This is what Bella Ivory is talking about. She's a fashion teacher at Beverly Hills High School who says on the day of the election, there was a mob going down the hallway.
It was just mob of kids, just so many kids outside my door. And they had one had a Trump flag on a pole, on a flagpole. Another, it was just so many of them. Some of them had on MAGA hats. Some, had on just Trump fans apparel.
She says someone tried to open her classroom door, says it upset some of her students.
At this school, I've had to deal with a lot of racism.
But at a recent school board meeting, students talked about how scared they were, given what happened outside Bella Ivory's classroom during election week.
And it became utterly impossible to just ignore it. From 8:30 to 2:30 all week, being at school felt like being in a nightmare. What the black students and Miss Bella had to deal with that week had absolutely nothing to do with politics. That week, being stormed, being called the N-word, being shunned, all because you were black, became the normal.
In recent weeks, I have seen racial slurs scrawled across the walls of our bathrooms, hateful rhetorics being spoken by fellow students in the hallways we share, and violent behavior towards Miss Bella and our club.
Bella Ivory also spoke at the board meeting.
They looked so frightened. Then I said, I'm not going to open the door. And then the same student said, they look like KKK.
And see, if I was the principal at that school right there, Beverly Hills, and all this mess was going on with these black students and the black teacher, I would just load them up on a van and take them back to the hood and say, go to your own school. That's what I would do. Okay, you that scared. No one made you come here. You volunteered and came to this school. You volunteered and applied to be a teacher at this school. And yet you so scared. Take your scary, how about the cuss? Go back to the hood since you're so scared. It's all an act. They're not scared at all. But Mr. White principal, ship him back. Just say, okay, because I'm not going to stop the student from marching in the hallway. So you got to leave if you're that scared. Who are you afraid of, living in the hood and going to your own school, or are you coming to the white schools? Didn't you leave your own hood because you were scared? Don't put up with this anymore. It's a lie. It's evil. Miss Bella needs to be fired. As soon as she made that little video in her car, when she got back to the classroom, there should have been a big note on the door. Miss Bella, don't bother about going back into the class. You fired. It's time to stop. Why are you letting these people in your schools knowing they hate you and all they're going to do is play the game? Was Miss Bella and those little nappy-headed children scared when Black Lives Matter burning down America? Destroying everything around. Was Miss Bella and those little black nappy-headed children scared then? Were you afraid of Black Lives Matter? You see a bunch of white kids walking out of the hall supporting the great white hope, Donald Trump, and you scared. Go away. Go back to your school. Nobody making you be here. We're not going to change our school rule for you. No one made you come. You came. And you said you went because you were not getting a good education in your own neighborhood because the teachers were too dumb to teach you, the black teachers. Don't put up. When will you say no to this mess, white people? The district said it is investigating the claims and an audio recording of the teachers stating, "My family will come for your family." They saying that's what Miss Bella is saying. My family gonna come. Isn't that hood like talk fight? Watch this from Fox 11.
The district tells Fox 11, we remain deeply committed to upholding a secure and conscientious setting where students can responsibly and considerably engage in the democratic process. But the district says it is investigating the claims, investigating the situation using all resources available, including this audio recording from a student's cell phone inside Bella Ivory's classroom.
If anything happens to me at this school, my family will come for your families. If anything happens to my son and Vivi, I will comfort their families.
Ivory says she wasn't making any threats, just sharing her feelings in a conversation that she claims was edited on social media.
Pretty much saying, my family's going to come after a family that hurts me, kills me or whatever, legally, not physically.
High school officials say that the demonstration like you just saw will be prohibited in the future if it causes any kind of disruption. Meanwhile, Ivory says she's planning on going back to work just after she gets over some of the stress.
Don't let Ivory back. Her family going after your family. Don't let Ivory back. That hood talk. And black people love to fight. Black people love going off and they love fighting. They love mess. They thrive off mess. Bella need to be fired, and what they said she said is, if she said that it's true, if it's true, she should be fired. She has a hood mentality. And white people, why don't y'all get back to making your school white again and educating your children? We need some more Elon Musk. Educate your children like you used to do when you didn't have the blacks in your school. You didn't have to worry about all this. When will you say no to these people? Don't let them in your schools, in your universities, in your high school, and let them go back to what they did in the good old days. They had their own black schools, they had their own black university, and during those days, those schools were amazing because the blacks were forced to bring out the best in themselves. Bella ain't got no business being a teacher at school with that kind of attitude. All on camera making a video. Your people, if she said your people, y'all mess with my family gonna come after your family. Is that black? You gotta say no to the devil. It is done. It is finished. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. You got either white kids walking up down the hall and Bella and her nappy-headed black kids feel like a threat. Black people ain't scared of you. They kill and fight each other all the time. All the time, every day. So all of a sudden they're scared of the white people. I'm just so scared. That's a lie. I don't believe that. I may not know my flaw, but I know black people. And black people ain't afraid to fight. They love fighting. They beg for a fight. They live off fight. They want to fight. They want to snap and fight just like that. White people take back your life and your country, but at least your life. Remember when the suburb used to be so beautiful? Now Beverly Hills is a mess. Joel said, as if those little kids were a threat. You talking about the white kids?
Right, as if acting as if the white kids were a major threat to the school and her safety.
I know.
They're just holding the flag, walking through the halls or whatever. They weren't attacking her or whatever. So.
Celebrating the great white hope. And she's scared. Bella ain't scared.
Only let Joel type blacks in those schools.
That's for sure.
Every other blacks,
That's right. Mays was right. Joel don't know anything about black culture.
I'll be honored to learn from the whites how to read.
What a mess. Jerome, thanks for calling you on the air. Jerome?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay. How are you?
All is well. Thanks for asking.
Okay, so I had called in yesterday, and I want to know why every time I call in, you always hang up on me when I'm making a good point, yet you let that man Arthur call in and bark on you for about twice as long, maybe 3 times as long as I spoke to you yesterday. You let him yell at you. You let him talk over you. Yet every single time I call in, you hang up on me.
What man, Arthur?
Arthur, he would think he was the first caller. He was talking about Jesus being the Son of God or Jesus being with God.
Oh, yeah. So you were measuring your time according to his?
No, I want to know why every single time I call in, you hang up on me.
Because it'd be time to hang up, man. What the?
No, but you let people go over all the time.
But you could be talking now about what you want to talk about instead of yelling at me and telling me how to run my show.
All right, so what I wanted to talk about today was morality. Not too long ago, I called in and we was talking, and I said maybe I can call in, but I wanted to talk about both sides, morality and immorality.
But just for the record, we came to a break yesterday, so I had to let you go. Remember that? I was at a break?
Right, but you hold people over on breaks all the time.
No, I don't all the time. That's not true.
You did. You did it with Arthur, too.
I may have done it with that, but I don't do it all the time. But go ahead about morality.
So when we were talking a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, we were talking about morality, and we were talking about how you say that, there's no such thing as a good moral man and all moral people are evil.
No, not. Go ahead.
You were saying how all moral people are evil, yet when you said when the blacks, when you were growing up, unlike the blacks today who are so evil, the blacks when you were growing up were moral, they had character, they had values. So I was saying I could call back about you saying that.
You were saying that you can call back about me saying that?
Yeah, because I wanted to continue our conversation.
You want to continue to talk about me saying that prior to the civil rights movement, black people had more moral than the blacks today?
Exactly, but you say that moral people are evil people. But you're saying that black people then had morals.
And your question about that is what?
Why were you comparing it as if black people today are evil, but you say unlike blacks today, people...
Well, back in those, if I understand your question correctly, back in those days, blacks were aware of themselves for the most part, not all, but most, and they were aware that they were evil, and they knew that we had to overcome evil. Whereas the black today uphold evil as though it's something good, and they thrive off being evil. That's why you have black women and black men hating one another. The children are out of control. A black man complain about white people just like a woman would complain, because they're not aware of their evil. They think their problems are due to someone else when it's really within themselves, unlike the days before the civil rights movement.
Okay, so you're saying that
makes sense?
People aren't evil.
That makes sense?
I'm asking a follow-up question.
No, answer. Does that make sense? You asked about that first. Does that make sense?
I have to ask you a follow-up question.
Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
I don't know, Jesse.
All right, call me back when you know if that makes sense, all right?
It does make sense, but when I'm asking you...
I thought it did. Hold on.
I know you.
Because you answered that question. Hold on. Let me take a break. 2 more hours to go. Back in a moment. Hey, let me go quickly back to Jerome. Jerome seemed not to understand good and evil. Jerome, what's your point, the point you're trying to make? What point you're trying to make about good and evil?
Well, the original point that I was trying to make was that there's more than just good and evil. There's a gray area.
What's the gray area?
Something between that, just because...
Like what?
Like wrong or right. I mean, just because you do something bad doesn't necessarily mean that you're an evil person.
Does it mean you're a good person?
No.
What does it mean then?
Well, it doesn't mean, again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can do something bad and be a good person.
How can you do something bad and be a good person?
Because everybody makes mistakes sometimes.
And we're not talking about stubbing your toe, but how can you do something bad and be a good person?
Well, when I say mistake, I don't mean something like that, like actually inadvertently doing something, but...
Are you saying, like, let's say that you went to the sweet potato pie store, and they had a pumpkin pie up there looking like a sweet potato pie. You thought it was a sweet potato pie. You get home, it's a pumpkin pie. You're like, what the? You mean that kind of bad?
I don't even know what that analogy means.
You don't eat sweet potato pie?
I don't eat sweets.
Are you black?
Yes, I am.
What happened to you? You don't eat sweet? No wonder.
I don't eat a lot of black stuff. I don't like watermelon. I'm not big into fried chicken. I don't eat a lot of that stuff. Yams, collard greens, I don't really eat none of it.
Really? You must went to the same white school Joel went to.
I think so.
You can't even identify with your people.
I know. It's a shame.
So why are you upset that they're evil?
That who's evil?
The blacks.
Okay, so that actually was going into the second point that I wanted to make.
But you said there's a gray area between good and evil. What's the gray area between good and evil? There's no gray area.
Well, I wanted to move on to a different point, but I guess I'm going to have to revisit this. And I just want to say this quickly because I did want to get to my other point. Again, just like we was talking about kids, grandparents letting their grandparents or grandchildren watch cartoons isn't evil. I mean,
it's evil if the parents of the children tell the grandparent, okay, I'm going to leave them here with you, But I don't want them watching TV. I don't want you giving them sweets. And if the grandparents do it anyway, and the parents don't like it, isn't that evil for the grandparent to go against what the parents want?
No, and I think me and you can go back and forth.
Is that good?
No.
It's not evil nor good. What is it then?
It was just wrong.
So isn't evil wrong?
Yeah, it is. But
so what are you talking about then? I rest my case. You see my shirt that says I rest my case?
I do.
Okay.
Every evil is wrong, but not every wrong is evil.
Why is that?
Because there's, like I said, there's a gray area. And like I said, me and you can go back and forth about
But what's the gray area? There's only good or evil. There's nothing else. So what's the gray area?
But where did you get that from?
God.
When did he say that?
When he opened his mouth.
I've never heard God speak. I don't think anybody has.
Just because you have not heard him speak doesn't mean he didn't speak.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't believe in God anyway, but it doesn't say that anywhere.
Well, no wonder.
Yeah, it doesn't say that anywhere.
You don't believe there is a God?
No.
And what if there is no God? What is it?
Nothing.
Nothing. And how did you come about?
My mother and father.
Your mother and father what?
They had sex, Jesse.
And who caused them to have sex? Who made it possible for them to have sex?
Themselves.
Who created the sex organs?
Their mother and father, my grandparents.
Really? And so who caused you to breathe?
My lungs.
Your lungs? Who created your lungs?
My mother and father, again, they created me.
So you believe there's a hell?
No.
Well, then I'm arguing with someone that why are you asking me about good and evil when you don't believe either exists?
Well, it sound like you were about to say that I have to believe in God.
No, you don't. I didn't never say that. It doesn't sound like I said you have to believe that. You're making that up.
No, it sounded like you was about to start to say that.
No, I never was. I never was about to start. You don't have to believe in God at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just never seen. I've had a bunch of conversations with people, and every time I tell them that, they usually get emotional and, start, and it's usually the men actually, but I've never actually heard somebody make a coherent argument for why God exists, and I'm still waiting to this day.
No one should make a coherent argument why God. They should not be trying to prove to you that God exists at all, but leave you in your darkness. You have a right to stay in your darkness and believe what you want to believe, and no one has a right to try to make you believe anything else. Don't try to prove anything to you. Let you live the life and the thinking that you want to live. You love your misery.
No, I'm not even talking about proving it and feeling like they have an obligation to do that. Sometimes you just get into discussions with people, just like you do on the show. And so people want to talk to you and, express their beliefs, and I express mine and they express theirs. I don't think it has anything to do with proving.
But you said that they be trying to prove that to you. No one should try to prove anything to anyone. You should leave people in their misery. They have a right to be in their misery.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Jerome. We can't be talking all day, man. What's up?
Yeah, I know. I was trying to move to my other point.
What's your other point?
So I just wanted to know why you call black people immoral, because, you say that, okay, most of them have their babies out of wedlock, and then most of them, vote for the Democratic Party. Like, why does that automatically assume that they have no morals?
And why are you asking me that when you don't believe there is a God?
I never said God once in that sentence.
I'm asking, why are you asking me that when you don't believe there's a God?
But what does that have to do with God? I didn't even mention religion, Christianity. I didn't mention God at all. I was just asking a question.
But why? Why are you asking that question?
Because I just want to know why you say that.
Why?
Because it's just interesting. I would just like to know.
And why is that interesting to you? You have no interest in God or morality or anything. Why is that interesting to you?
Is God the only place that you can get your morality?
There's no place else you can get it but God.
But then you say that morality is evil. So does evil come from God? This is what I'm not understanding about your argument, Jesse.
The morality that human beings have now are evil, and that's why they don't work. Because they're evil. But that wouldn't concern you since you don't believe there is a God. That was for those people who want morality and think they have it, knowing that the ones they have it don't work. And they need to drop their morality so real morality should take over. But why are you concerned about that when you don't believe there is a God?
Because you don't have to be, I don't have to believe there is a God to talk about black people voting for the Democratic or Republican Party.
But you're not asking me about the Democrat or Republican. You're asking me about why they're evil.
No, I asked why you said that they're immoral.
Because they are. They're evil. That's why they're immoral.
So in order for you to answer that question, I would have to believe in God first for you.
No, not at all. I just answered for you.
Okay. I mean,
so you don't believe there's a hell or heaven?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that would go along with Christianity, and it wouldn't make sense for me to believe that.
Okay. So you believe nothing?
Yeah, like there's just nothing, and I'm still waiting for, a strong case to be made, but I've never.
But why are you waiting for a strong case to be made? Why don't you just live in your unbelief?
No, not that I'm necessarily waiting so I can cross over.
You just said you waited for a strong case to be made. Why?
Yeah, I think you're kind of reading too deep into my words.
No, it was just a question. I'm not reading into it at all. I'm asking, why are you waiting for a strong case to be made when you don't believe it at all? Why do you need a case to be made?
I don't. I would just like to hear one.
Why?
Just because you hear so many, I listen to your show every day. You talk about Christianity and God and returning back to Him.
But I'm not talking to you. I'm only talking to those who realize that something is wrong and they want to overcome whatever it is that's wrong. I'm not talking to people like you.
I know. But I know you're not speaking to me directly, but I am a big fan of your show, and I listen to you every day. I
appreciate that. Are you going to donate?
I do donate. I donate actively.
Right on.
Yeah, I donate all the time. I may come off argumentative, and I just do this for fun. Like it's I'm not even really being serious when I'm argumentative, and I donate all the time. So I don't want it to come off like I dislike you. I listen to your show all the time, and I am an active participant.
Well, I don't get the feeling that it's personal. I just think that you lost, and you wonder why you lost. And you want to be found, you just have not admitted that yet. And I understand it.
I know, but that just all goes back to, it's kind of like it's circling back around to, people without religion are lost. And it seems like I'm not going to get an answer to my question, and I don't want to, be holding up other callers.
Yeah, real fast. What's the question? What's the question again?
I just wanted to know why you call black people who have babies out of wedlock and then black people who vote for the Democratic Party evil, or not evil, immoral.
Well, because they are. Most black people don't believe in God at all. They only have hatred in their hearts. They have no love.
Okay. Like I said,
that makes
I
sense?
Really know. No.
Have you noticed that most black people, because they have no love, they are against real morality? Why do you think they hate the white man so bad? Because so much. The white man represents morality, and the blacks can't handle that. And so instead of learning, well, how did you do this? How did you become so moral? Blah, blah, blah. They want to put the light out rather than understanding the light.
Yeah, I do see that, a lot of black people, constantly calling the white people racist. And,
yeah.
They're blaming white people for all of their problems. And that's something that I'm a big, I don't like that at all. You can do anything that you want in this country as a black person, and nobody can hold you back. So I do agree with you on that.
Right on.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't want to hold up too much of your time.
All right. Call me again, Jerome.
All right. Thank you, Jesse.
I grew up with a friend, a guy named Jerome, and his brother named Clarence, and they had a whole big family.
Oh, okay. Is he still alive?
As far as I know. I don't know. I haven't seen him in years.
Oh, okay.
All right, Jerome.
All right. Thank you.
All right, buddy. And I'm sick of black people calling everything racist. No such thing as racism, right? This is from Ben. What y'all think about this one? President-elect Donald Trump is facing backlash after he offered to purchase a young black girl's hair for millions. What's this from the Times?
Whoa, look at I love that girl. I love that hair. I want her hair.
He's a pirate.
Can I buy your hair? I'll pay you millions.
What were you going to tell the president?
I voted for you.
Wow. I vote for you.
I told him we wouldn't let him in. He's here.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Mr. President.
We love
We love you. We love
Thank
you.
so much.
Play golf with the president. What did they say in school?
I like
They were crazy.
Hey, come on, sit up here. Let me get one.
Oh my goodness. That was so cool.
Okay? Go ahead.
Amazing. So Donald Trump gave the little girl a compliment, being nice, and the black people tried to call that racist because he said, I like her hair, I'll pay you $1 million for that hair. And the little girl stand up there saying, I voted for you. I voted for Trump. And now the black people act like they're mad over that. Trump don't want that hair, believe me, I want that hair. But you couldn't give Trump $1 million to take that hair. Look at that hair, they ain't no good hair. All over her head like that. They ain't even comb her hair. What the? Trump really don't want that. I'm sure you're thinking in his mind. I'm just playing.
Right, you just being nice.
Yeah. And the black people are pretending they're mad over that. Here's some of the backlash comments under the viral video.
Okay. Slade, this is from Twitter or X.
I don't see it anywhere.
We working it out.
Oh. Joel working the board today, folks. Lord have mercy.
Yes,
Cause Nick going on a Thanksgiving vacation today.
Boom.
And he's teaching Joel to do the board today, and Joel gonna run the board tomorrow or the next day. Y'all pray.
Yeah. JY7 on X says, slave master talk.
What the?
That's one of them.
And he had not acknowledged the hair. They would be saying, he ain't look at her hair.
Okay, this is the second one. Grace. Where's Grace?
Her grace is sufficient for me.
Let me see. He doesn't understand how buying black girls may be a bad look because in his circles, buying black women is the norm.
What? That doesn't even make sense.
They just be making stuff up. But he's basically saying that...
that one didn't make sense.
Right. It's just another slur. But then next time he should be honest about what he says, and then we'll see what they say. Right?
Come on, little girl, let's take a picture. I don't want your hair, though.
Right, I don't want that nappy hair.
I know. They said buy female slaves. I don't even know what that meant.
Want me to try it again or what?
No.
Okay.
Is that it?
That's it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Hate we're trying to explain it. Black people, take your racist self and sit down. We have given you all 70 years of complaining about racism, which doesn't exist. Ain't you tired? Don't you want to just drop it and show the white man you can do it too? If he can do it, you can do it. Why don't you just lay down the mess and take up your cross and walk? Donald Trump gave the little girl a nice compliment. And the little girl loved the compliment. Her parents seemed to be fine about it. Why don't y'all just be quiet? First of all, racism doesn't exist at all. But everything ain't racism. Ethan is a first-time caller out of upstate New York. Ethan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hey, Ethan.
Can you hear me?
No.
Oh, okay. I was calling because there was a caller. He came in. He was talking about morality, and I thought I kind of agreed with him. There is gray area, and I've heard you in the past talk about that it's only black and white, and I don't agree.
You say there is gray area?
Yeah.
What's the gray area? What's in the middle?
Well,
what's in the gray area?
Well, you know how they say that two wrongs don't make a right. I believe that sometimes there is a time where that's not the case. Like if a woman is getting assaulted and a man needs to, or like, you know, somebody needs to intervene, whether it be man or woman, intervene with this woman getting assaulted by, you know, beating the guy up or whatever. And that's not okay to be violent, but in this case, it's a necessary thing to do because you're a bystander. Just standing there waiting for somebody to do it wouldn't be moral, right?
What is the gray area?
That's the gray area.
How is that the gray area?
Because
that's not an answer. Because it's not an answer.
No, the gray area is that you have to do something bad to a person in order to do something good for the other person, to free the other person from being assaulted.
But let's say that a woman is assaulting a man, right? And you're saying that if this man has been assaulted by this woman, that the man should jump in and help?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's not okay to hurt somebody else. If you see that happening, you should break it up if you can.
Why?
Because you're there. You're in that, like, you know.
But suppose it has nothing to do with you.
I mean, you could walk away. It doesn't make it any more, I guess if you want to see it that way, it doesn't make it any more moral.
But how is it immoral to walk away?
Because he could have done something.
Why? It wasn't his business.
It doesn't make it okay.
What? I don't understand that. What do you mean?
You see somebody getting hurt. It doesn't matter if they're a woman or a man. They're still like there and they're getting hurt, and you could stop it if you see somebody getting hurt.
But you're not wrong if you don't stop it.
I mean, sure.
And so where's the gray area?
I'm stumped.
What do you do? You what?
I'm stumped.
See? How old are you?
I'll concede. All
right. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Right.
I'm gonna turn 19 the 6th of next month.
But how old are you today?
Today I'm 18.
All right. Good try, Ethan.
Yeah.
Have you forgiven your mother?
My mother?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, to some degree, yeah.
Why not to all the way? Why you haven't completely forgiven her?
Because sometimes she does things that upset me, but I mean, I still love her.
If you love her, you don't love her, you hate her. Because if you
I don't hate her.
If you loved her, you will forgive her.
What is hate then?
The anger that you feel toward your mother.
That's anger. It's not hate.
Anger is
frustration.
Hate. No, anger is hatred.
No, those things can be mutually exclusive.
No, anger is hatred. Is there love in anger?
No.
So there's hatred. Why you call it love?
Well, it doesn't make it hate.
What does it make it?
Anger. Well, what is anger? What is righteous anger?
It's something that you don't have.
Actually, you know what? I'll agree. You know what? Yeah, sure.
And what does
I mean?
When you ask your father to help you deal with your mother, does he help you?
My father isn't in my life.
Where is he?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Well, a long story short, my parents got divorced, and he was a deadbeat. He cheated on her, so.
So what did that have to do with you? He didn't cheat on you.
No, he cheated on my mom.
But
so.
if you had a wife like your mama, you'd cheat too.
What?
If you
I'm confused.
If you had a wife that's like your mother, you would cheat too.
No.
Yeah, your mother's not an easy cookie to deal with.
Yeah, it doesn't make it okay.
I didn't say it was okay, but that's what drove him to cheat. He didn't know how to deal with the hell in your mother, just like you don't know how to deal with the hell in her. And so...
Yeah, but he's mentally ill.
and so is your mother.
Yeah, again, it doesn't make it okay to cheat on,
I didn't say it was okay, but I'm telling you why he did it. And what does cheating on your mother have to do with you and your father? It had nothing to do with you.
Oh, because he went to he's not from the U.S. He was born in Chile, so he I think he got kicked back to his country.
Oh, so your dad is a Chilean?
Yeah, my dad's Chilean.
And so why don't you call? Do they have phones in Chile?
I called him and he disowned me last time I talked to him. He said he doesn't want anything to do with me.
And why?
Because he wanted to go to the movie theaters with me alone without my mom being there. And I was uncomfortable by it because he's made comments about kidnapping me in the past. So I don't want to, be there.
And who would you rather be kidnapped by, your mama or your daddy?
Neither. I'd rather not be kidnapped.
But your dad would have had a better impact on you than your mother.
How so?
Because he would not have shown you the feminine way. He was showing you the manly way.
Yeah, I don't know if he's alive, and he was living in his car for about a year. I think I'd rather be in a home with my mom than be with the feminine than be with a deadbeat dad who doesn't earn a living and is living in his car.
Do you love him?
I don't know. I haven't forgiven him.
And why not?
You're asking.
Why not? You haven't forgiven him for what?
For the abuse that he put me through. He was physically abusive to me and my mom. And
when you say physically abusive to you, in what way was he physically abusive to you?
Well, he would basically, he had this thing where he would basically spank me whenever I didn't have good enough grades, and he would go, basically do it, and I don't know, he did get some sort of pleasure out of it. He would smile, he would laugh. It wasn't out of love. It was definitely not out of love. It was,
how you know?
Because he got a twisted, he got a kick out of it. It's just it's not what a loving parent does.
And are you getting a kick out of hating him?
No.
Then why haven't you forgiven him?
Because he hasn't forgiven me.
You don't need someone to forgive you. You need to forgive them so you can be free.
But what would I be forgiving my father from?
You said he whooped you. You better be glad you didn't have a black daddy. He would have whooped you up and down the road.
I guess. I don't know.
I would suggest do what you want. You're 18, right?
Yeah.
I would forgive my mother for turning me away from my father and forgive my father for not protecting me from my mother so that when you go out into the world, you don't end up with a woman just like your mama and you're going to end up cheating and leaving her and doing the same thing. Forgive your father so you don't repeat the same cycles.
Well, I would say my mom didn't protect me from my father.
Right. So forgive them both.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Apologize to your mother for resenting her for being so cruel to you. And forgive your father for, they both could not help themselves. Their parents screwed them up. So they've done the best that they can do. They don't have anything else to give. All right?
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but yeah. I mean, I agree with you that their parents were screwed up.
Yeah, all parents are screwed up, all of them, all over the world, everywhere, all races.
Yeah.
And
also, I was wondering if you believed in the concept that we are born in sin and therefore that's why we need to repent towards God.
Yeah, born in sin means that you were born into a crazy family. You were born innocent, but then your parents were stupid, and so you became angry. They made you angry, especially your mother. And the moment you became angry, you fell away from innocence and you woke up to darkness. That's what it means to be born in sin. You're born into a crazy family. And so your heart turned from love to hate. And once you realize you do have hatred in your heart, salvation's of the heart. Once you forgive your parents, they could not help themselves. God will forgive you, and he will change your heart back to love, and then you will be free. But most people can't admit that they have anger. Anger is hatred. And anyone that has hatred play God. They think they know what they want. They think they know what they can do. They have their own ideas about everything, and they're wrong.
So how would that apply? Like you call what Trump the Great White Hope or whatever. How he has his own ideas of running like the country and stuff. It's different from your hope in God and his government up in heaven or whatever. So how do those things mesh?
Trump insight on running the country comes from God. He's not making up that on his own. He want to drill again jobs, right? That makes sense, right?
No.
It doesn't make sense to drill.
No, it doesn't make sense that this comes from God. I don't.
Well, who would it come
that.
from if not from God? Hold on. Let me take a quick break. Back in a moment. I want to go quickly back to Ethan, a first-time caller, 18 years old. So, Ethan, do you understand you should forgive? Oh, you were asking me about Trump.
Yeah.
Does it make sense that Trump will bring jobs back to America?
No, I was saying like how is that God's direction towards that Trump is being blessed by God? Like how could you make that assertion?
Because I've watched how he dealt with situations in his life. He has not allowed situations to get to him, but he has overcome them all. As James Watkins would say, a river cut through rocks, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. And Trump is persistent in staying on that straight and narrow. It doesn't matter who turned against him or whatever situation he has to go through, he stayed with it. Have you seen that?
I guess I've seen him be very stubborn, but I don't see it again. I don't see how that's because of him being backed by God.
And who you think he's backed by? The Democrats are weak. They haven't been able to deal with life like that.
I think he's just a man. I think he's just,
He is just a man, but he's led by the Spirit of the Father.
I mean, you could assume that. I don't know.
Not assume. What are you doing after high school?
I'm going to community college right now. I'm majoring in computer science.
Oh, okay. Good. So I encourage, do what you want, all right? But I would start speaking up to my mama and forgive her, but learn to speak up to her, but don't be angry. And forgive your father for being a beta, based on what you've said. He's a beta. And forgive him so you can have, right. So you can have a better life. But if you carry that anger with you to college, you're going to end up in the same situation as your parents, or even worse.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
All right?
Yeah.
And do the silent prayer. You heard of my silent prayer?
Yeah, I'm not religious.
Good.
I mean,
That's why I want you to do it, because you're not religious.
I was Christian. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh my God! No wonder you've been traumatized.
Yeah. I've done research about different denominations and stuff, and I've just come to the conclusion myself that I don't believe in God.
No, you didn't come to that conclusion. You think you did, but so I do understand. You have never made a decision in your whole life, and never will.
So you don't believe in the concept of free will, which I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, no such thing as a free will.
I mean, that would also like, for example, you didn't come to the conclusion to believe in God either.
Right.
It goes both ways.
Absolutely. You and I and no one has ever made a decision.
So it's kind of redundant. I mean, I'm still, not going to believe, but. And you could say it's my
You're
decision.
not going to believe what?
In God.
What?
I don't have enough proof that God exists. And
Why do you need proof?
Because it's the burden of proof of the person presenting this claim that isn't, you know.
You think God's going to prove to you that he exists?
I mean, he has for servants in the past.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, he has.
No. Not true.
What about like the burning bush and all like the visions from like the Old Testament and even in the New Testament where Jesus, you know, performed miracles and stuff? People could see that he was God or that he had the backing of God.
But he wasn't doing that to prove that he existed.
But he's proving that he was blessed by God, that he had the backing of God, or that he was, depending on what you believe in.
He was showing you a better way out of your hell.
Okay.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. So here's what I want you to do, if you have time.
Yeah.
All right? Do the silent prayer. And let me know what you think about it.
The silent prayer being?
rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. I want you to start doing that. And I want to know what you think about doing doing the silent prayer. What's your opinion on that, all right?
What is the silent prayer, though? I'm confused.
rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. And it will show you how to sit still so that you can see what's going on inside of you.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
And then I want you to start doing that. And every Friday, the first hour of the Jesse Lee Peterson show is going to be the first half hour with Ethan. And I want to take calls, and you're going to ask some questions, and you're going to tell the people what you think about the prayer and how your life is going.
I mean, sure.
So I want you to call into the show starting this Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific time. And the first half hour is a half hour with Ethan.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Are you ready for it?
Sure.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Are you beta or alpha?
Probably beta.
And why is that?
I don't know. I think you probably see me as a beta.
Why is that? Do you see you as a beta or do I see you as beta?
No, I don't work within those confines. I don't.
So then why are you saying you're a beta then?
Because you say it all the time.
But I didn't say it about you.
Yeah, but I'm saying that you would probably view me as a beta.
What?
You'd probably view me as a beta.
Why you say that? Why are you thinking about it? Don't even think that way. Don't even think about how someone else
I'm
views
not calling
you.
myself that. I'm just saying you would probably view me as that if you knew like the way that I acted in public and the way that I talked to people.
Well, that's going to all change now that you're going to be doing your own half hour every Friday, all right?
Okay.
So, hold on. If you don't mind, my producer would get your contact information and you would get his contact information so he can tell you how to call into the show. Do you want to do it by Skype or phone?
Phone.
Okay, why not Skype?
I have to pay for Skype, don't I?
No.
I don't use Skype. That's why.
Oh, okay. Skype is free.
Okay.
You don't have a cell phone?
Yeah, I do. That's where I'm calling from.
And you don't have a Skype on your cell phone?
No.
Download or use web browser.
I got a really cheap phone, so I'm like, just rather call.
Are you white?
I'm a white Hispanic, yeah.
But don't white people have money?
No.
All right, well, if you don't mind, hold on. My producer take your contact. He will give you his, and we'll work this out.
Okay.
Welcome to the Jesse Lee Peterson Show.
Thank you.
You're now going to have your own eventually. Come hell or high water. Hello?
Yep. Sorry.
All right, hold on, all right?
Okay.
And this Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific time, and I think that's 9 o'clock your time.
AM?
Yep.
Okay.
And are you available at that time?
Yeah, should be.
All right, well, hold on. Derek going to talk to you. My producer.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Don't be a beta.
I won't.
All right, hold on. If you happen to catch yourself in an argument, you're at the dinner table because you may get into the talk about politics. And if you bring up politics and you didn't vote for the person that's put it on the party, oh, you're in trouble. You could say, there is trouble in the land. But remember, lay your weapons down. Stop arguing with the devil and other people and in yourself, your imagination. Just two devils arguing, and you're giving a false sense of life to the devil. Isn't that amazing? Yes, Jesse, that's amazing too. So don't argue. According to Colossians 3:13. Bear with one another. Bear with one another. And it said argue with one another, right? Bear with one another. Forgive each other if one of you has a complaint against another. Those are not my words. It's out of the word. Bear with one another. Forgive others, each other, if one of you have a complaint with another. The Lord has forgiven you. Now you must do the same. The Lord has forgiven you. Now you must do the same. Haven't I been telling you for 34 years? Since 1990? That you must forgive? And yet you won't lay your anger down. You won't let it go. You won't let your unforgiving heart go. But you know the Bible. You know the Word. But you won't lay down your evil heart. Salvation's of the heart. And so this Thanksgiving, and every day, but this Thanksgiving, think you all got to be running around. Don't argue with each other. Forgive. I know there are people who said, oh, don't cut your hair off. No, nothing. Don't go to your family house. Don't do this and don't do that. Because they think that they lost the election or the person they voted for didn't win. Don't argue this time. All right? Never try to prove anything to anyone. Never, ever, ever. But never try to prove anything to anyone. Bear with one another. Bear with one another. God bears with you. What's that? Forgive each other if one of you has a complaint against another. The Lord has forgiven you. Now you must do the same. Isn't that amazing? Some of the most unforgiving people on this side of heaven are Christians. Allah Abba people, some Jews and and religious people are the most judgmental, unforgiving human beings on the planet, all in the name. The black Jews who think that they're the real deal. The whatever else religion you belong to. Unforgiving people I've ever seen. This Thanksgiving, reflect on that and let your anger go. Let your anger go. And anyone that has anger is one with the devil. Anyone. I don't care how many stats of Bible you have. I don't care if you're waiting for the kingdom to come when it has already come. I don't care if you're waiting for the revelation thing to happen when it has already happened and you're still waiting. Or you think God, you think Jesus is God, or whatever your trip may be, you must forgive. All right? If you want to be free, reflect on that this Thanksgiving. And again, from all of us at every department of Barn, radio, TV, whatever, thank you. It's been a lesson. It's been amazing. It's also amazing how fast time goes by. It's already Thanksgiving. Can you imagine that? It doesn't seem like it's time for it yet. You know what I mean? Yes, I know what you mean, Jesse. ANIA, not Anna, but ANIA out of Mississippi. M-I, cricket ladder, I, cricket ladder, I, humpback, I. That's how you spell Mississippi. ANIA, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Uncle Jesse. Can you hear me okay?
Long time no hear. How are you?
I'm okay. And you said it wrong. It's ANIA.
ANIA.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi. Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about something I heard, just to get your opinion on it.
Okay.
And there was this guy, I heard him say that if a girl isn't married at a certain age, maybe by the age of 18, that she should apologize to her father for not being married, because she essentially failed as a woman and she's going to get a guy to marry her at a certain age. And if she's not married now, it's because she's not marriageable, or there's no man who would think that she's able to be married. So I just wanted to know, what did you think about that?
Whoever said that is evil, and I would recommend you never listen to them again. That's a lie. It's not true. Your life is not about getting married. And I understand women, it's natural for women to want, they have it in them to want to get married, have a family. But it's not, if you never got married, if you're seeking what's right and you're living with the Father, in the presence of the Father, you're going to be fine. Your life is not based on whether you get married or have children or not.
Yeah, I hear you. And what I realize a lot, especially with people nowadays, they seem to, their whole lives seem to evolve around finding like a lover or a girlfriend or a wife. It's like nothing else matters except that. And it's very hard for them to separate from the idea that maybe they can just be on their own and still be fulfilled without having somebody with them.
Anything from the outside that makes you happy. Those people have a shallow mind. They have a shallow mind. I heard it said once about shallow minds. They have a shallow mind, so that's why you have to practice being present so that the truth can guide you, because human beings, due to the evil hearts of human beings are evil, they'll come up with all kinds of lies and deceit in order to deceive you. So do not fall for that lie. That's a lie. There's no truth in that. Just let that pass and work and continue to work on yourself.
Thank you, Uncle Jesse. I noticed I hear this a lot from black men. They seem to speak about, black women doing this to them and doing that to them. how they're single and they're unmarried and things like that, and how they're not, I guess, marriageable. And to a degree, I do understand that when I look at some Black women's bad attitudes. Another thing I want to talk to you about concerning that is when it comes to dying from the ego and being more true to yourself. Like when you say things like, if you don't want to smile, you shouldn't smile, or if you don't want to laugh and you laugh anyway, it's like you're being fake, so to speak, and you're kind of following after the spirit because you're afraid of what people might think of you. And I notice how if, me as a Black woman, that could correlate to appearing as though I have some sort of attitude. Like if I don't smile or if I don't laugh, you know what I mean? If I don't appear to be friendly to make people like me. So I was curious to know, like, what do you have? I mean, can you say anything to me about, overcoming that?
Number one, don't ever say as a Black woman again. All right? That doesn't make...
I'm talking about Black people, like the Black thing.
I know, but you said at me as a Black woman, right?
Yeah.
No, you're not a Black woman. Forget about that. So that you don't take on another false identity. And number two, people who live that way, they have fear. They have anger. So they're living a life of fear. And they got to act in the way that the world has trained them to act because they don't want to be perceived as anything else. They smile because they're afraid that if they didn't smile, they'll be judged as being mean or nasty or not nice or something, right? Or if they do smile, they think they're going to be perceived as nice. Someone think, oh, that's such a nice lady, she smiled. And those people who are living that way are living in fear. Fear controls and dictates their whole life. And the only way to overcome that is to be aware of that. That's why you got to practice being present so you can see what's going on inside of you, what's driving you. And when you can see it, you will naturally overcome it. You can't make yourself overcome it. Seeing it will cause you to overcome it. That's why you got to know yourself.
Yeah, thank you for that. And one last thing, what do you believe a woman's purpose is? If it's not to get married.
Come back to your phone.
Hello?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I said, last question is, what do you believe a woman's purpose is if it's not to get married or be a helpmeet to a man? Like, what is it as a woman?
Her job is to do exactly what the man should do, is return to the Father, overcome your hell. Life is about overcoming your misery. And men and women must overcome their misery, because if you don't overcome your hell, you're going to get and if you got married, all you're going to do is catch more hell, because you're going into hell thinking that it's going to be heaven. So your purpose is to overcome your misery in life.
Yeah, can I just say that I definitely noticed that a lot of these relationships where people try to find somebody, it never works.
Right.
And it just fails. And then I hear people always talking about being in a relationship. So it just sounds like you're basically trying to get someone to get into a relationship just so it could fail.
Right.
Just so they could go through a lot of hell. It's so weird that nobody questions, well, we want to get in a relationship and we're talking about it and that's kind of what we're about. But why is it failing so much? Why is it not working? Why doesn't it last? And then when it does last, it's like it's just lasting dysfunction and misery. You know what I mean?
Right. And even if they stay together for 50 years, they're still miserable. They have only caught hell for 50 years, and then they have children, and they pass on that same hell to the children, and then the children repeat the same thing, and the children pass it on to their children, and it's just misery. They have put that before seeking what's right. They have put that before returning to the Father. Nothing going to give you perfect peace except that you wake up.
Yeah, and that's definitely what I want. I think if there's anything in this world that's worth seeking after, it's that perfect peace and that kingdom that you talk about.
Yes.
And
believe me, there is a kingdom. There is another world. above us and inside of us. And believe me, it is completed. The work is done. And we are free if we want to be free. But we are free if we live from that kingdom of heaven within. And it is done, but most people don't even want to believe that. They don't know. I hear people call hate shows, sometimes my show, and they think that they wait on the revelation to happen. Oh, like, can you get any dumber than that? But Christ said, it's done. It's finished. He said, don't look over there. If somebody tells you to look over there for it, don't do it. Look over there, don't do it. What you're doing over there when you should be over here, right? And the people are looking everywhere but within. They're looking in their imagination. They're looking in the Bible. They're looking in the church. They're looking for a relationship. They're looking for money, power, whatever. And they're not finding what they're looking for because it's right at hand. It's in them, but they don't know it. So
Absolutely.
Look within you, stay with that. And if you get married along the way, it'll happen naturally. And you would not have to do one iota of a thing to make it work. It will work naturally if it comes together naturally. But if you look for it, it's going to come together in an unnatural way, and you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to make it work.
Yeah. I don't try to make relationships happen, and because of that, I don't have no friends. I don't talk to nobody. I don't hang out with nobody. When people try to talk to me, I talk to them. I engage, but I just, like you said, I don't really try to put myself on them. I kind of just keep to myself, and then it's like after a while, they just fade away. You know, they go away.
Beautiful. That's what you want. You want the devils to go away. So stay with it, all right? And it's good to hear from you.
Oh yeah, good to hear from you. Are you still considering coming out to Mississippi?
I am, and I'll definitely let you know.
Well, I'd appreciate that. I'd love to see you down here. Thank you, Uncle Jesse.
All right, good to talk to you. Amazing. Nate is out of Canada. Nate, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Happy Thanksgiving, sir.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, just had a question about the silent prayer, right? Like, I was brought up Catholic, so in terms of prayer, like, I don't really understand if we're supposed to replay it over, if we do it by ourselves, because I was interested, right?
Right.
But I don't know, like, if it's like a repetition thing. I'm not really big on that because I don't really want to rely on you to pray, right? So I just want to know if there's a way I can do it myself.
Yeah, you
without your
go to the video, rebuildingaman.com/prayer, rebuildingaman.com/prayer, and it will show you how to do it, but eventually you'll be able to do it without the video. You'll see how to do it. And all you're really going to do is just relax. You close your eyes. You let your whole body relax and just become aware of thoughts. And that's all you need to do is to be aware of those thoughts. And the light, the Father that allows you to see those thoughts, He's also taking them away from you. There's really nothing you need to do but be aware. You don't need to ask for anything. You don't need to be begging. You don't need to be doing repetitious prayer because you're praying to the devil anyway. Because we don't know what we want. We don't know what to pray for. That's why God said, be still. And so you learn to take, for the lack of a better word, technique. But eventually you'll just be able to relax. And you'll be walking down the road. And instead of being caught up in your head, you'll be relaxed and you'll be aware of walking down the road. You'll be aware of the cars going by or at work. It'll just become natural for you.
Yeah, because I'm big on, like, I listen to lots of different preachers, but I don't really want to get attached to one because I find that's such a big problem. Like, even my own family, like, people are just on one kind of person. So no offense, like, you're a real help, but I don't want to rely solely on you. I want to try and get independent eventually off of you, right? Like,
if you become present, stay out of your thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time. You stay out of your thoughts. It will be impossible. Impossible. That's what you are to me. Impossible, yeah. It will be impossible to have anyone before what is right. You won't be able to do it even if you wanted to.
Okay.
So all you need to do is be present rather than lost in your head thinking about the past or the future. It would be impossible to have any other God before God.
Definitely. Just never such a unique way to pray, right? Like I said, like we're used to saying our Hail Marys, our Fathers, stuff like that.
What a waste.
Well, those prayers are in the Bible, though. They're biblical, right?
Ain't nowhere in the Bible where it tell you to Hail Mary.
It's in the Bible when I don't know exactly where it is, but what we were taught in Catholic school was when Saint Elizabeth, Mary's cousin, she told her she was pregnant, and then that's what she said. Oh, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is in you. You know.
But
I don't know exactly. That doesn't mean around Christmas time.
But that doesn't mean you're supposed to start hailing Mary just because some woman hailed Mary in the Bible because you were pregnant. What the?
Well, that's just what they told us. The reasoning behind it, I don't really know.
They lied to
details,
you.
But
that's why the Pope is. That's why the Pope is still tick. The Pope is tick. He's doing too many. He's doing too many Hail Marys.
Well, like I said, I that's just how like my whole family, right? It's just a generational thing. So
right.
I'm not gonna leave my religion, right? But I'm still interested to learn.
Well, if you really want to know God, you're gonna have to leave your religion. You have to leave the whole world behind. You have to leave all of your ideas, all of your thoughts, all of your sadness, your loneliness, your anger.
So let me ask you:
fear.
You have children. You never got your children baptized. Your children. Did you ever get your children baptized, like in a church?
No.
Wow. So you're not scared, like you were baptized, right?
I was baptized as a kid down in Alabama. Yeah.
So you didn't want to get your kids baptized?
I didn't care either way. They'll make that decision as an adult.
Wow. Okay.
What is there to be afraid of if you don't get baptized?
Well, it says in the Bible, right? Like, you have to... Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Sorry, my phone was acted up.
Oh, yeah, come back to your phone. It sounds like you went away or something.
Yeah.
You have Obama. Yeah, no. What's the President Kennedy name? Huh?
Sorry?
What's the President of Kennedy?
Oh,
Canada.
Trudeau.
Oh, you have a Trudeauphone?
Yeah. yeah. Well, you know, that's the thing about him too. He's gonna win again, right? So we have a different electoral system here. Like we don't have term limits, so he's just gonna keep on winning, and you don't need a majority to win. Minority.
That's the people get what they deserve. They keep voting in that man in, and he just keep them in prison.
Well, I realized that a long time ago. So there's a lot of people who hate on him here, but I don't even hate on him because like people keep on voting him in, and I feel politics is just about trying to get reelected. So he's doing exactly what he's doing his job. He's just trying to get reelected. So
yeah,
I don't take it personal, you know.
Nice. Are you going to vote for him?
I don't vote. I haven't voted like in the last few elections ever since I realized like. I don't really think that it matters for me to vote. Christ is my king, you know? So, yeah. I don't complain either, though. I'm not like these people who complain. F Trudeau.
Right. And what does that mean, Christ is your king?
So it doesn't matter who wins the election, and especially because I feel like politics is so complicated, and I don't really feel like I know
But you said
that
Christ
much.
is your king. What do you mean by that?
That's my boss. That's who I go to for guidance. That's who I pray to. Yeah.
Oh.
The Trinity, right? You know about that. The Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
No such thing as a Trinity, man.
Well, like I said, that's just my go-to guy.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
Yeah, but I don't vote, though.
Right on. Well, let me know if you do the silent prayer. Let me know how it goes, all right?
All right, God bless. Have a good one.
You too, buddy. Amazing. So listen, Hassan just walked in, and Hassan heard us talking about the sweet potato pie versus the pumpkin pie, right? Am I right?
The legend debate.
What?
The legendary debate continues.
I know. And so he just brought us a couple pies, sweet potato and pumpkin pie, and we got to guess which is which. Is that right?
I mean, guess, debate.
Why you look like Ted Newton?
Just in the
You
spirit.
look like Ted Newton, like you going hunting.
Nice. Might have to do so. Getting in the spirit.
Amazing.
Continuing the debate.
And so
I can already tell the difference between the two.
I think I know the
Me
difference
too.
to it. I think this is the pumpkin pie.
Which one? The
Nope.
lighter or the darker?
You guessed
The
wrong.
lighter one.
Okay. And James, you think the lighter one or darker one is pumpkin?
The darker one is pumpkin because it has something in it to make it darker.
Huh.
It has like
What one
I
you
forget
think-
what it has, but
What?
it has something in it to make it darker.
Shout out to
and
Nick the
tastier.
Anchor Baby. Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
And sweet potato is the lighter one.
What were you think, Joel?
I think the darker one is sweet potato.
I do
Wrong.
too.
I'm pretty sure you guys are wrong.
Really?
I can also tell by the consistency.
All right.
It's smoother. The pumpkin
And
is
so
smoother
what
'cause
will
it
you
has
think
stuff
is
mixed
the
in it.
pumpkin pie, Hassan?
Well, I know, so
Oh yeah, you know.
He knows that I'm right.
I'm the chef.
Okay, so it's sort of like a blind test, and you're going to decide which one is better.
So do I have to eat it
So
first,
which one
or
are we
he's going to
eat
tell
first,
us?
the dark or the
No,
light?
we eat it first, and then he tells us.
Which
Okay.
one should we eat first,
Yeah,
though, the
let's-
dark or the light?
We'll do the grosser one first. Do the light one first.
Yeah.
The light one? Okay, here we go.
Can you believe James never had sweet potato pie before coming to Bond?
I know.
What a life.
He was living in prison.
That one's pumpkin.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
one? The light one?
The light one. No? Yeah, I think.
No, that's sweet potato.
Oh, don't open your mouth with the food in it on the mic.
Right.
You don't want to hear
Or
that.
you'll disturb James.
Yeah.
This is sweet potato.
Gross.
The light one?
Yeah.
I don't think
I
so.
told you.
No, the light one is sweet potato for
I
sure.
have to try the dark one.
That's right.
Are we trying the dark one yet or no?
Sweet potato is the lighter one.
Yeah, we'll try the dark one now.
Okay, the dark one. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
And then the dark one is the pumpkin.
The dark one is pumpkin. The
It's
pumpkin,
honestly not even close.
the pumpkin is like bland.
Yeah, sweet potato is
Yeah, the way to go.
it's horrible.
Yeah, the pumpkin is like
Pumpkin
beta.
is subtle. They both taste almost exactly the same to me.
No.
No.
The
a
pumpkin
little
tastes
bit.
like water.
Pumpkin has
Yeah.
more sugar in it.
No,
Sweet
pumpkin
potato
has
is-
less.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I don't know. It has a different type of
The pumpkin
sweetness to it.
tastes like somebody made it with water.
Yeah.
And they try to make hard to make it taste like a pie.
And the sweet potato tastes like somebody milk.
I mean, if we're being totally honest, neither one of them are great.
These are
No, because
I don't take offense to it because I actually did not cook them, but
Your mama made them.
Ralph's.
No,
Yeah, they're
listen.
not. You're right. They're not the best. That's for sure.
if
Yeah.
you want a good
But they're
sweet
both
potato
all right.
pie,
They're all right.
It's all right to write home about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the sweet potato is light years.
Yeah.
if you want a good sweet potato pie, you got to get Patty LaBelle's sweet potato pie.
I was
Oh,
searching.
you got your base sweet potato pie. Which one you like best?
Sweet potato.
The light one, right?
Oh, yeah.
The sweet potato.
And not because I'm black.
Yeah, Derek he liked the sweet potato. Which one you like the best, James?
It's kind of apples and oranges.
No, they are pies.
I know, but sometimes you prefer apples. Most of the
Oh.
time, you probably prefer apples. But sometimes you may prefer oranges.
In the microwave, it tastes even better.
I was
Yeah,
gonna.
need heat it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. I was actually getting apple pie, and I was in the line, and I was listening to the show, and James started slandering that Thanksgiving is not Thanksgiving without pumpkin. So I quickly went back and switched.
Nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
Are you getting fat?
I mean, it's pretty evident.
Why you get so fat?
It's pretty obvious,
Well, he's
isn't it?
wearing like 4 layers of clothes.
I am wearing a lot of layers.
It's a puffy jacket.
Yeah, it's
Did you just come from Big Bear or somewhere? You know, so many clothes.
This is
I have been watching Yellowstone and a lot of these.
And so why you get so fat?
I don't know. That's a great question.
And the answer?
McDonald's.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Does Sandy have a beta back?
Yeah, he does, but he's doing better.
Is he fat too?
He is gaining a lot of weight.
Sandy's his dog, and Sandy got a beta back now.
Yeah, and I've been a little down because he doesn't sleep in the bed with me no more.
Why not?
He got his own little situation.
And he's not happy about that.
He grew up, right?
He grew up. He's a teenager now. You know, he's like, hey, I'm on my own. So I'm dealing with the ego pain.
What? No wonder you're getting fat.
Yeah, right.
Your child grew up. Mama baby grew up.
That's right.
Oh man. Well, I like your hat.
Thank you.
Nice hat.
Yeah, he's back.
The Great White Hope.
That's
Making
right.
America great again.
That's right.
But you got to get rid of the fat.
I know. Is it really bad?
Are you still waiting on God?
Waiting on God? Is it really that bad? Now I'm feeling real bad.
No, it's bad.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
No, I think it's because of the layers.
Yeah, the fat people always blame the layers.
Dang, that's crazy. Well, anyway, before getting slandered and fat shamed, I just wanted to come and say how thankful I am and how much I love you guys. But now I'm rethinking. I want to renege my gratefulness.
A lot of people also think you cut your hair. You didn't cut your hair, right?
No. That's another myth.
Okay.
That's like the pumpkin. That's the pumpkin sweet potato myth.
Well, it's obvious that you're thankful.
And the fat.
He's enjoying
me being fat.
his
Hey,
meals.
no, me being fat is also a myth. The TV adds pounds.
Right.
Isn't that right?
It's true.
Yeah, when you're fat, it adds another 5 pounds.
When you see me in real life, you look better in real life. I remember someone said that one time. I was like, I don't know if that's a compliment or if that's like a backhanded compliment.
That's funny.
But anyway, thankful to you know.
What your mama said about you being fat?
She's contributing to it, I think.
Oh, I was going to ask you, are you eating your mama cooking or something?
Well,
look, even your jacket popping open.
I know.
Uh-oh.
They can't see it on there, though. Can they see that? Anyway.
I'll keep it hidden.
Fat guy in a little coat. No, it's fine.
I'll keep it hidden.
Normally, it would be a space for 3 on the couch.
Well, now with these headphones, I do like an Elmer Fudd or something. Yeah, it's like a hunting thing I'm doing. I don't know what this style is.
Ted Newton.
Yeah.
Newton.
But I think having weight is part of that look.
You think so? Are you depressed?
Well, we'll have a private counselor for that, but I have been better. I'll say that.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
You waiting on Jesus.
Yeah.
Waiting on God. Waiting on God.
Waiting on Mickey D's.
He's waiting on you.
I took the Trump working at McDonald's thing too far.
That's for sure.
I keep going there thinking he's going to be there.
Like Ted Nugent, he doesn't drink or smoke or alcohol or anything.
Who does?
This one.
Right. He's making up for it with the food.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You'll never catch him like
hasn't smoked when you're getting that fat.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. You getting high off of the food.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. If I couldn't feel any worse about myself, this took it overboard.
And you're like full fat.
I know.
You know how some people get, like I get fat in the stomach, right? And then there's some people get fat all over.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Mine's in the face.
Everywhere. It's in the face and the waist.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, all right.
All right.
Well, nice to be back.
You're not hungry, that's for sure.
That's for sure. I'm not starving.
That's for sure.
That's right.
Oh, God. LAZELL, our first-time caller out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. LAZELL, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How's it going, Mr. Peterson?
All is well, LAZELL.
I don't know. I knew I was going to get nervous. Long story short, Mr. Peterson, I'm calling because I'm a long-time listener, but my wife, she had my wife. We've been together 7 years.
You been together 7 years, you say?
Yes.
Okay.
And she just recently, like last month, had an abortion without my knowledge.
Ooh.
But I knew, we knew that, her time of the month was late. So we was kind of like, just playing it by ear. And I was at work, and she called me with the test, and the test was positive. And I'm like, oh well, congratulations.
Come back.
But I didn't have a whole bunch of time because I was at work. So when I got home, I'm like, she like, I made an executive decision. I said, what's that? What you mean by that? And she told me, like, I had an abortion. And like,
what?
I didn't really know. I didn't want to say nothing, like in a clouded. I don't want to say nothing out of anger or like just out of feeling. So I just sat with it, and I'm like, I guess whatever was meant to be was. But ever since then, it's like I just see her in a different light. I know it's not right to judge her, so I'm not mad at her. I'm not like angry or nothing, but it's just something not sitting right. And ever since that happened, it's just I keep seeing more and more things that I guess I didn't notice. Maybe not notice, but it wasn't just as clear. And it's not like we have 2 children, and even with them, I'm starting to see like just she's not doing nothing like real malicious. We don't have like real problems. I work a lot. She home, but I noticed she like say slick remarks to the kids, and they babies. I got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, or soon to be 3. So I know they're not really understanding it, but I'm like, if she did this from now until they was adults, it's kind of like she's shaping a perspective of me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I'm not mad. I'm not. It's just you always ask the callers like, do your wife obey? Had that not happened, my answer would have been like, yes, 100%. But now I'm noticing it's like she obeyed only because she agreed. And I just wanted your take on it.
Why did she have the abortion first? Why did she say she did? Why did she do it?
She told me she made an executive decision. I said,
what did that mean?
Because she said she don't think we would have been able to afford it. So I'm like, in my mind, I don't want to go back and forth with her about it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, if we going by that logic, then we can't afford no kids.
Right. That wasn't her choice to have an abortion. That was your choice. She was supposed to come to you with that and not make that decision herself.
Yeah. Well, she like I told you, she said I made an executive decision. I was like, oh wow. But my question, this is now it's coming to me now that I'm speaking with you. My nerves is kind of calming.
Okay.
But I feel like, and maybe this, I don't know if it's a thought, but I feel like now our family, our union, we got to answer to God for that. I feel like.
Well, you don't have to answer to God for that. She does. That was her evil act, not yours. It had nothing to do with you at all. So don't take the blame for that at all. That was totally on her.
We a family though, Mr. Preacher.
I know, but that was not your decision to kill the baby.
No, it was not.
So you don't have to answer to God about that at all. You didn't even know according to you didn't even know she was doing it, so you're not even responsible at all.
100% I did not know.
Right, so you don't have to answer to God for that. So what?
It's been a shift in our home.
Yeah.
It's been like, not to her, because she's still going about life like regular, like nothing had happened.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, that's annoying right there. The part that it seemed like she's oblivious to it, it's like, yeah, I just wanted to, I didn't really know, like, I'm thinking like, who knows what we got coming based on that decision.
Yeah. Here's what I recommend. Don't be angry at her. It's evil what she's done, but that just shows what's in her heart. She's evil, right? So she can't help herself. Don't be angry at her. And I want to encourage you to work on you. Don't argue with her about what she's done. Let her know that what she did was evil and that she had no right to make a decision to have an abortion without talking to you first. She had no right to that at all. That should have been your decision, not hers. And you be clear about it, but don't be angry. And then just work on you. Don't argue with her about it. Don't fight with her about it. And God will guide you through this whole stuff. And you will see what to do next.
Okay. So you think it is a good idea to, as far as you know, I don't even have, we haven't had a conversation. So you think it would be good to just have a conversation?
Yeah, you be straight. Hey, what you did was evil. You had no right to make that decision without me. That was on me to make that decision, not you. That was not an executive decision. That was an evil decision. And when you killed my child, that was an evil act. What you did was wrong. And don't argue about it. She's going to want to argue and cry, whatever she does. You let her do it. But don't you fall for it. Because when she cries, she's lying. All right?
Yeah.
When they're crying, they're lying.
No, I heard you say that before. I totally agree.
But you have no reason to feel guilty, no reason to feel bad about it at all. But it was evil. And let her know what she did was evil.
Yeah.
And
okay,
then,
Mr. Christian.
And then don't argue about it no more. Don't anything. You work on you. I promise you, the Father will guide you through this, and you will see how to deal with it perfectly. Whatever that might be, it will be shown to you. And I want you to know it wasn't your fault. You don't have to answer to God for that. She did that. That is on her.
Understood. And thank you for the advice, Mr. Peterson. I have been working on myself. It's been like almost 2 years now since I did the whole forgiveness thing.
Yeah.
And the thing about working on yourself, you get to see how nasty you are.
Yes.
And the more you work on things, the more you see. It's like, man, I thought it's just like, I don't know how to explain it, but the more I get to work on it, like it just reveals something else.
Yeah, you haven't seen
something else after that.
Yes, you're going to see the depths of the evil of your heart. Human beings are evil.
Yeah.
Absolutely evil. But you're overcoming it now because you have confessed it to the God, to the Father, and you admit it, I'm evil. And now that you have confess your sin, that's what sin is, you're going to be fine. Those spirits are being taken away from you, all right? Stay with it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, Mr. Peterson.
All right, let me know how it goes.
Okay, happy holidays to you and the crew.
You too. Are you able to see us right now, or you're just on the phone?
Oh, yeah, I can see you.
You see how fat Hassan is?
I'm out of the phone.
Hassan's so fat, he took over 2 space on the couch.
Man, I love Hassan. I love the crew.
Yeah.
I wanted to call you guys on Get Off Your Chest Friday because it was like some things I didn't agree with, but man, I love the whole crew. I love the show. I put just for you helping me out today, I'm gonna donate something towards that $50,000.
Thank you.
Like $20 because I'm broke.
Right on, every bit of help. Thank you. Yeah.
But I appreciate the show, Mr. Peterson.
Thank you,
I
buddy.
appreciate everything.
I wish you well. Let me know how it goes. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Amazing. What a mess. So, earlier this week, I got a call into the show from Ethan. I've never met Ethan before. He's from New York, upstate New York. 18 years old, Ethan. And it was an interesting call. And I realized that we don't know what young 18-year-old people are thinking today, where their minds are. We know that they're all drug addicts, but we don't know that what they think. They're on pot and everything. So I asked Ethan, would he be a guest on Fridays? And we were calling it Friday with Ethan. Fridays with Ethan. And so Ethan is here now. Hey, Ethan. I can't hear you.
You can't?
Now I can.
Okay.
Welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Well, I guess thanks for calling me a drug addict. I wouldn't identify myself as one.
No, is it true that all the 18-year-olds are like potheads now?
Weren't you a pothead when you were a kid?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, not when I was a kid, but I smoked some pot when I moved to California at 18.
Yeah.
So your age group, not all, of course, are they into pot?
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, we won't start off with the drug. We'll start off with something else. Good morning. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me on.
Okay. So as an 18-year-old, what's important? Are you like Are you like a Generation X? Or
I'm
Z?
I'm Generation Z. I'm a Zoomer.
Generation Z. And what is, I know you don't know all Generation Zs, but what the primary attitude of Generation Zs? What's important to you?
Well, what's important to me, I guess, is what's going on around the world. I don't know. I'm not like specifically. I'm not paying attention to one specific thing. I think there's a lot of things that are important in this country, for example, and around the world. I don't really pay attention to everything because I think it's just overwhelming. But
Yeah.
I know that people my age right now are just focused on school, focused on earning a living.
Do you pay attention to politics at all?
I mean, relatively. I wanted to get back to one of your statements. I don't get why you want to segregate the schools. I just want to make it very clear that I'm not for segregating schools. I think that's racist.
And why is that racist?
Because you're separating groups of people based on race, based on their phenotype.
You're referring to my opening there, right?
Yes.
Because the black people, the teachers and the students are saying that they're afraid of the whites.
Who cares?
And so if they're afraid of the whites, why would they volunteer and go to white schools?
Wait, repeat that again?
If they're afraid of, are you able to see me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If the black teachers and the black students are afraid of the white people, why would they volunteer to go to white schools?
I don't get the question.
Did you see the opening?
Yeah.
And did you see the black teacher saying that she was afraid of the black student marching down the hall? I mean, the white student marching down the hall. And did you see the black teacher, the black student said that they were afraid of the whites? Did you see that?
Was it because of their race or because they were demonstrating at school?
Because they were whites demonstrating at school.
Or maybe it's because they were protesting at school when they should do that outside of school because it's disrupting the learning environment of people there. I think it was made very clear in that report.
No, it was because they were white kids and apparently they were Trump supporters and they were protesting at school, it seems. But why would...
No, they were.
Why should the white schools let the blacks in, or why would the blacks volunteer and go to a white school if they're afraid of the whites?
Because we fought for equal rights. That's why we're here. That's why we're able to talk.
And what are equal rights?
The ability to go wherever we want without somebody else impeding on what we can do or say. That's why we have a First Amendment. That's why our founding fathers constructed the Constitution, and that's why we have equal rights. Slavery was phased out in this country, and it was thanks to them. It took obviously the South to secede for them to realize that they needed to get rid of slavery, but they eventually did, and then they got rid of segregation in the 60s, 70s.
But what you mentioned were constitutional rights. I asked you what were equal rights.
Equal rights. Equal
Yeah.
rights are. I just told you.
But why do you call constitutional rights equal rights? Why don't you call them constitutional rights? Because there's no such thing as equal rights.
That's your opinion.
Why don't you call them constitutional rights?
Because it's the same thing. You're just playing word games. It's literally the same thing.
And so, are you white or black?
I mean, you could see my skin.
But you saying we as though
we as in Americans, as in people who live in this country. Yeah.
We
all are privy to those rights because we're all Americans living in this country, and even people who are illegals still have those privileges.
For the people who don't know you, are you white or black?
I think you could clearly see on my face.
Yesterday,
my phenotype is white.
But yesterday you told me your mother was white and your father was what?
No, I'm a white Hispanic, but both of my parents are Hispanic. You're asking me if I'm white. I am white, as in racially, I am white. Ethnically, I'm Hispanic.
What? So your mother Hispanic?
My mom's Hispanic. My dad's Hispanic.
But why do you call yourself white then?
Because I'm white. You're black, as in you're black because of your phenotype, as in the color of your skin is black. The color of my skin is white, so I call myself white.
Whatever.
I mean, you say that race is a social construct. It's true. That's why we say these things. That's why we call ourselves black or white or whatever.
And what is social construct?
Something that society constructs, something that society made up.
And
but we still operate within it. It still affects us.
And so if there were, God forbid, if there were to be a race riot, God forbid, which side will you be on, the white people's side or the Hispanic side?
Neither. I don't want to get involved in that because that's stupid.
And so you wouldn't take either side?
No.
Amazing. How do you see the race issue?
I think it's silly to say that for some groups of people. I think it's reasonable for them to say that they're being oppressed because of their lived experience. Their lived experience is valid. You might not consider it to be, but they've went through things that you haven't seen or understand, and that's just the way that life is, I guess.
And are you so you're in college right now, right?
Yep.
And your major is what?
Computer science.
Oh, okay. And so you see the race issue as silly.
Yeah.
Do you believe that racism exists?
Yeah, I do.
And what is racism?
Racism is the oppression of a group of people. It's believing that your race is superior than the others. It's racial superiority. It's basically you thinking that, a group of people, like segregation's racist because you would have to separate a group of people from another group of people, whites from blacks or blacks from whites.
But where is your proof that racism exists?
History, all of history.
And where is the proof in history that racism exists?
A textbook, the internet, literally any source of media. If you look anywhere, it says racism exists. Well, you can believe racism exists or not. It still doesn't, obviously change the fact that it did happen and that groups of people were marginalized in this country.
Is it true that, is it possible that whomever wrote this book that you read that said racism exists, is it possible they could be lying in order to deceive you?
It's not just one person. There's several people, hundreds and thousands of people who have documented the things that have happened in this country.
Is it possible that they could have been lying in order to deceive you and control you?
Do you think that's the majority?
No,
it's a big conspiracy.
I'm asking you a question. Is it possible that they could be lying about racism in order to control you by dividing and conquering? Is that possible?
You're trying to entrap me in a question. I'm just saying that sure, for the like minority of the accounts that are out there, it's sure some people have lied. The majority are true, and you can prove this. You could look at different sources. It's not just one person saying this. It's thousands of people who have documented their lived experience from all the way back in the 1800s all the way up to now and even further back. I can't relate to you exactly one, but again, there are several accounts, and I don't get this.
So is it possible that whatever book you read and whomever told you that racism exists, is it possible that they could have been lying to you in order to divide and conquer?
Sure.
And so why have you chosen to believe a lie?
It's not a lie just because some people lie.
How do you know it's not a lie?
Because some people make things up, and it doesn't invalidate that racism exists.
But racism is a made-up word, and racism does not exist. But you, at 18 years old, have been told, whether you read a book or someone told you, that it exists, and you're convinced that it exists. So unless you have a change of mind at some point in your life, you're going to be going through life believing that racism exists, which is a lie. Racism.
Do you realize how language works? Language works. We all make things up. All of the words that we use are made up.
Right. And that's the problem.
Vernacular, and that's not a problem. That's good. That's how it works. That's how symbols work. They evolve over time. We change the way we communicate because of extenuating circumstances, things that push us to then change the way that we speak to one another. It's not a bad thing. But it's just human, the way that we evolve as a society over time.
But human beings, due to the fact that human beings are evil, human beings make up words in order to deceive. For an example, a long time ago, they made up the word racism. It was a made-up word back in the 60s, I guess, 70s. And they made up this word racism. And they used that word until they could manipulate white people to a certain point. And when they saw that they can deceive and manipulate white people and now others, they added onto that word. They called it reparations or affirmative action. They said it's affirmative action needed because of racism. And then that worked for a long time. And then now they call it DEI. Do you see how one lie was made up and it evolved into another lie to control and to another lie, and now they're calling it DEI, and white people feel handicapped to the blacks now who made up the word. Was that a good idea to make up that word and keep building on it in order to deceive?
Who are the deceivers?
The blacks and the liberal whites.
Oh, okay. I don't see the problem here.
You don't see a problem with that?
I don't see the problem with people getting representation in media. I don't see the problem with black people being represented in media. I really don't. I don't see your problem.
What does that mean with blacks being represented in the media?
I think that putting numbers is like certain amount of people in a particular project, like certain black people or whatever, to meet a quota, I think is silly. But I think that representation in media of all different types of races and types of people, including people you might not like, is a good thing and is more representative of society here, and especially here in America, where we're the largest melting pot of the world. Everybody knows that there's everything's here in the United States. You have Asians, you have blacks, you have Hispanics, you have Indians, you have all sorts of different races and ethnicities of people, and it's not a bad thing for them to be represented in media. And you're saying that is, and that we should segregate groups of people because of their phenotype or the way that they look.
And who should put all these different races in media so that they can be represented? Whose job is it to do that?
I don't know. What are you trying to say? The big liberal cabal?
What's wrong with, in the good old days before the civil rights movement, black people did their own thing. They had their own media, they had their own movies, they had their own...
They still do.
They have their own schools, they didn't beg and blame, and they were not crying racism
They still do.
at all. They were not crying racism at all because racism did not exist. And they are responsible for themselves. Should the blacks still be 100% responsible for themselves, or do they need the whites and others to be responsible for them?
What?
Should the blacks and the Mexicans and other races, do they need someone else to be responsible for them, to make sure they get into media, make sure they get into the right neighborhood, or should the individuals be responsible for themselves?
Both?
What do you mean both?
It could be both. They can make connections with other people. It doesn't have to be group like races of people, like you keep saying. It doesn't have to be. You frame it from a whites versus blacks, and you keep saying that racism doesn't exist, but you clearly make that divide where that is the case, and it's not the case for every single circumstance. People need to make connections with to climb up that ladder, and people can depend on themselves at the same time and take responsibility when they make a mistake. It's all that's what you can do as just a human. It's not just because you're black or white or whatever. Everybody has that ability to do those things.
One last question, then I have another question because of time. I can't believe this time is up already. What are you a Christian?
I was.
And then what happened?
I stopped believing.
Stop believing in what?
In God.
You stopped. At what age did you stop believing in God?
A few months ago.
And why did you stop?
Because it was silly. I don't know. It's a complicated question that you're trying to get me to answer in like 5 minutes.
Right. And so you, at one point, you believed in God, and then 5 months ago, or whatever, you decided I'm not going to believe in God anymore.
Yeah.
And why?
I didn't see what you guys see, I guess. And it's been a few years of me questioning my faith in God, and I don't believe anymore.
And what is it like? So 2 questions. What was it like when you believed in him? What was life like for you at 18? What was life like for you when you believed in God?
Pretty miserable. I was always questioning things. I wasn't able to say particular things, and it's not just because I grew up in a cult, but it's because because that's just Christianity as a whole. You can't say particular things to certain people. You can't think particular things. You can't question the order of things that already are. And I always thought that was a controlling tactic that was used by people who took advantage of their power and were abusive.
That's a very interesting point, in that you're right, in that Christians are enslaved. And that's why they're so miserable. They're unhappy because they're enslaved by their false God and their morality. And now that you don't believe in God, what is life for you now? What is it like?
I mean, everything but that, except I'm just living my life, and I feel free to think and say what I want.
That is interesting. So when you were a Christian, you didn't feel free to think and say what you want, but now that you don't believe, you feel free to say and think and do what you want.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And so we're going to have you on every Friday if you would come. But let me ask, the biblical question, what is the difference between a Christian and an atheist?
one believes in one's a theist and the other isn't, and the theist believes in the Abrahamic God and I guess his son.
So which one is a thief and which one is not?
The atheist isn't a theist. The atheist disregards theism, at least doesn't believe in theism, and then the other does. It's pretty simple.
And does your parents, are they aware that you now don't believe in God anymore?
Oh no, my mom pressures me all the time to believe. She thinks I still do. Yeah.
Oh, your mother think you believe in God?
Yeah.
She doesn't believe you when you told her you don't believe in God?
Yeah.
And yesterday you said, well, not yesterday, the other day you said that you were not close to your father. He moved away to another country, right?
I don't know where he is, but that's assumed, yeah.
What is that like at 18, not being close to your father? What does that feel like? What's that like for you?
I mean, I don't know. I'd rather him not be in my life because he's just manipulative and just overall just not a good person. So I'm kind of just happy without him.
Amazing. Ethan, thank you so much for coming on. So are you for now, are you okay with every Friday?
Sure.
Okay. And then maybe we'll add more time as we move forward so we can, maybe take some calls eventually. How about that?
Okay.
So thank you for coming on, man.
Yep.
Are you a liberal or conservative?
I'm a liberal. That I've been listening
All right,
to
thank you, man.
for a few years.
Bye. What the? Matthew is out of California. 888-77-JESSE. Matthew, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How are you doing, Jesse?
All is well, sir.
I don't know if you remember, but I called in maybe, 2 months ago.
Never ask a black man if he remembers.
Well, I called in because I was going through like a tough breakup kind of thing.
Okay.
And I kind of wanted to give an update, and I had a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
So I've been sticking with the silent prayer. I realized a lot of things about myself. I saw the evil in myself that I didn't really see before.
Yeah. And that's the problem. Human beings cannot see that they're evil. They rather have a false seeing of self that they are good when they are not good. There's nothing good about human nature, human beings. Zero.
No.
So I'm glad you at least see that. And you ever see it, it gets worse. Just keep seeing and you'll be free from it.
So I was able to see that. I really see it and how much I'm kind of controlled by it.
Yes.
Literally, just everyday life with everything I do, from the clothes I buy to literally everything. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yep.
It's honestly probably been the roughest 3 months of my entire life. It was really bad. Like, I feel like I was getting attacked, honestly.
And so what's been the rough 3 months? Of seeing yourself?
Seeing myself, yes, and kind of realizing that, like, kind of everything I've lived for up until this point was kind of a lie. I don't know, like, everything I ever wanted, like, or at least I thought that I wanted, that I've been living for, was kind of a lie. I don't know.
100%. All human beings lives a life of lies. They live in an illusion, don't know it.
Like, I thought what I was living life for was I wanted to get a decent job, get married, and have kids. That's really... And I'm starting to realize that probably wasn't the right thing. I don't know. It's just kind of destroyed my view on everything. I'm really kind of lost. It's been really rough. I'm not so sad about the breakup anymore. I still am. I feel like I get attacked sometimes. Like, I know the real me doesn't really care about it. It's like, it is what it is.
And you feel sad sometime about the breakup?
Yeah.
And why?
Because she played her role. I just didn't play mine. I just wasn't I was just a beta. Like, I don't know what else to say with that.
But why would you be sad about that? Why aren't you glad to see that?
I'm glad to see it, but I guess I started judging myself about it, and I'm like, man, if I would have not been such a beta, it probably would have worked out, and stopped trying to control everything and just let things happen naturally. Everything would have worked out.
And who is saying that to whom?
I guess not me.
No, but so you're saying that, you think?
I don't know, honestly.
And who are you saying it to?
Myself.
And who are you?
A soul.
Who is the self that you're saying that to?
I don't know. That kind of doesn't make sense to me.
What doesn't make sense?
Who is myself? Myself is my soul.
And what do you mean your soul? What's your soul?
Like my spirit.
And how do you know all that?
I don't know. That's just what I think.
So you're still making up illusions. Why?
I don't know. I don't think I tried to.
And so why do you listen to this thing inside of you make up one false identity after another one? Why are you listening to that?
I try not to, but I find myself getting caught up.
Okay. Well, when you do, just realize you are caught up. You're in another thought, and it's giving you another false identity. Just relax, and it'll pass too. You're taking on identity. You want to die from identities. You don't want to take on new ones.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
So when those thoughts come about, it's because in all honesty, there is no you to regret anything. And when you say, I regret this, I regret that I was a beta, I regret, all you're doing, and listen closely, all you're doing is confirming another false identity. You're giving yourself another false identity, and you're confirming it. And when you confirm it, it makes it feel alive. Like there is a you that was a beta. There's never a you that was a beta. How can you be a beta when there's no you?
Okay.
You were lost in darkness, and so you don't even know who you are. So there's no one there to judge as beta or alpha.
For sure.
Isn't that amazing? There is no you. It's all an illusion.
It is, but it's hard to see at times. Like I get really caught up at times.
It's amazing to have to see and know that there's no you, huh?
Mhm. It is. But
can you, the false self, hold on for me?
Yeah.
Hold on. I want to go back to Matthew out of California, I believe. Matthew out of California. Matthew, thanks for holding. I appreciate it. Go ahead.
So really what I wanted to call and ask you about was, after seeing the evil and everything in myself, and I know I can't do anything about it, I just have to see it. I feel like I'm getting attacked. Like, I don't feel like it's me, but I'll really start getting, like, it's been like about every day, very like suicidal, like very like, I don't know, like just kind of, it's not me feeling it, but just like losing like the will to even go on, because it just keeps popping in my head, like what's the point of even like being here? Like, what's the point? Everything I thought was a lie. Stuff like that, and I kind of realized why I am the way I am now. I was raised by a bunch of angry women. My dad passed away when I was young. So I understand why I am the way I am, but like I keep seeing what's going on. Like I can see it, but it's like it won't leave me alone.
And who is the you that it won't leave alone?
I guess the false self.
And why are you still identified with the false self? Even if you have to remind yourself that it's not you, why are you still calling it you?
I guess it's been my whole life. I've identified with it, like ever since I was a kid.
How old are you now?
From what I can remember. I'm gonna be 21 in like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So who is giving you or telling you these ideas about suicide?
I know it's not me.
How do you know it's not you?
Because I wouldn't do that to myself.
Absolutely. And so, like with anything else, you just see it, don't call it you, and it will be taken away from you, because the voices that you hear and the pain that you feel about, oh, you're not worth anything, who are you? You don't have anything, you're not this. It's not you telling you. Those are the spirit that made a home in every human mind. And the human think that it's them and they identify with it. But those are just little demons inside of your imagination. And they have no power, no authority, nothing. Everything has been defeated already. The devil has been defeated. And he's just trying to convince you that it's you because he want to live in you. The evil lives inside of human beings, and it needs a place to live. Otherwise, where will it live, right? And so it's just trying to make you think that is you. Relax, watch it, let it pass, and go along your day, but do nothing about it and just watch it.
I have another question about it. Is it something that I'm gonna have to deal with the entirety of my life, like just to see that pain and go through it, or will eventually it'll just leave?
I want you to get away from that thought too. When those thoughts come, when will this end? This is so long. This is it's so painful. How long will this last? All those are just spirits speaking to you to make you think it's never going to end. And when they scream like that, the reason they are screaming like that to you, how long is this going to last? This is so painful. You might want to take your own life. It's because it knows. You may not realize it fully, but it knows the light, which is the Spirit of God, is giving you a little light to see it. And it cannot live in the light, so it has to depart from you. So it's screaming because it is dying, and it doesn't want you to know it's you. It doesn't want you to know it's it. It wants you to think it's you. So when that happens too, let it pass. You must be willing to endure this all the way to the end. And don't worry about the end, because in all honesty, it can already be over with. It could have been gone a long time ago, but you still believe it's you. And by believing it, you're still identifying with it. The moment you stop identifying with it, it's over.
Okay.
It's really, I promise you, it's just an illusion in your imagination. They're delusions. They're not you at all. And it's hard to accept that because you've been so accustomed to living this false life. That's why Christ said, if you got, and ain't no way around it, if you want to have a life, you got to give up a life. You got to give up this false life that come from the imagination and it's not real. It's just an illusion.
For sure.
Really, and this false illusion is fading away. It might not feel like it at times, but if you stay with it, it's fading away, and eventually it will be gone, and you're gonna be like, how did I ever believe that something else made a home in me? It made me think, it made me do, it made me act in ways that I would never do by myself. You would never tell yourself, oh, you might well commit suicide. You might want to take your life. That's not you telling you that. That's the spirit that is preventing you from doing the right thing, and it causes you to do the wrong thing. It's not you at all.
And I've been listening to honestly, ever since I've been doing the silent prayer, every day, I really don't kind of look forward to anything anymore. All I really look forward to is coming home and doing that and going to sleep.
I know it. Beautiful.
Like how the last caller said, or the super chat, something about not wanting to talk to people anymore.
Yes.
I kind of get like that now, where it's like, even for Thanksgiving yesterday, my whole family was there, and I was, I just want to be myself. I didn't even want to be there.
But in that ego state, though, it feels like you got to be at every party. It feels like you got to be a part of every event and everything, because you're trying to get life. You're trying to feel alive. And these false events and the false people make you feel alive when it's really death. But now you're overcoming the world, and you will be in the world, but not of it. It will be paradise on earth. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. Everything is done. It's all completed. The kingdom of heaven is right here, right now. And that's what you're starting to discover. And you're going to see even more so that people are born. They are not about anything. They're vicious. They're nasty. They're evil. They are revengeful, and they only want something from you. If they only want to be around you if they can get something from you, whether it's a validation or whatever. Right? They're wicked. Human beings are evil, and you're going to find it being amazing not to be around them, because you're not going to want anything from them.
It was interesting to kind of see. It's probably the first time I really kind of just watched my family.
Yes.
And yeah, like everything you just said, I don't know, they just like to talk about other people, and I don't know, it was just interesting to see, kind of, and I just didn't want to be there anymore.
Absolutely. Because it's hell. You're looking at hell not only in your own imagination, but you see it now in other people, including family members. You're going to see it in all people, and you're going to see the depths of how evil human beings are, and it's going to blow your mind. You're not going to be able to see it by yourself. It will be revealed to you. Human beings are evil.
That's the thing the false self keeps telling me too. When I see the evil too, the spirits will keep telling me, like, look how evil the world is. Why do you even want to be here? Look at this. Like, look what these people are doing. And I know the real me wouldn't, just accept it for what it is. But those spirits keep talking to me, and you're like, I don't know. It gets me down, and I know I shouldn't listen to it.
Yeah, it's only gets you down because you believe in it is you. You believe that it's your thoughts, and you believe in the pain that come with the thought. But the moment you stop believing it and just come back to present, it's going to disappear, because the devil has been defeated. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Everything is done. It's completed. And that's why, if you notice, the Christians are as lost as you are. You're more found right now than the average Christian, because most Christians don't know that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. They don't know that it's in them. They don't know that it's been defeated. The devil has been defeated. They don't know that you can have perfect peace right here on earth. They're still waiting for it. They're still praying to Satan, thinking they're praying to God. They're praying to the devil. That's why their prayers are never answered, by the way. They are praying to an illusion of God. And they can quote the Bible till the cows come home. And they'll get mad at you if you see the truth and they don't. They'll get mad at you because that spirit in them don't want them to know the truth, and they think it's them. It's the same spirit.
Mm-hmm.
They're praying to an idea of God and not to God. So you're on your way, man. You just got to stay with. All you got to do now is practice staying present. meaning don't get into the past or the future, thinking about tomorrow or yesterday. And if you do, just come back. Be aware of your body or something to bring you back to the present where God is. And you're going to see everything is changing by itself. Those spirits have to leave you. You'll be fine.
And that's the biggest struggle, is staying present. Because I'll realize I'm not being in the present, and then my mind just keeps wandering.
Yes. But when you do, just bring it back. Even if you have to do it 1,000 times a minute, 1,000 times a day, you practice staying present. Because in reality, in real reality, not the illusion, all is well. In your life, all is well. It's just you don't know it because you keep going into time. You go back to the devil by looking back at what has happened in life, what's going to happen, what is going to happen, and all that kind of mess. You're living in time, and God is not in time. God is in the present. He's here, the truth, life, and everything is right here, right now. It's not in time at all. That's why human beings are lost. They're living in time. They're living in illusion. I don't know if you heard Tony from California. He called, and all his whole life is about an illusion of the past. And he thinks it's still real, so he's living this illusion, suffering in hell, calling it heaven. You got to let the thoughts go, man.
I know. I have to.
And you're 21?
Yeah, in 2 weeks.
So you're not even 21 right now?
Nope.
So why you told me you were 21 when you're 20?
No, I said I'm going to be 21 in like 2 weeks.
You're fortunate is that you're so young and you're waking up right now. You're avoiding so much hell I can't even find the words to express. So you stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. And you're going to see that everything you thought about yourself and human beings have been wrong. And that the real hell is inside of human beings right here on earth. That's why you see so much hell on earth. Misery and wars and family members turning against each other, blacks and whites fighting, and now the Mexicans are jumping in, and it's just nothing but misery. Parents and children don't get along because they're living in hell of their imagination.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be fine.
I think I will. Or see, now I'm thinking again.
But just relax and just stay with it, and never call it you again. And you're going to see that you were the real you, because now that the false you is disappearing, the real you will appear. And you're going to see that you were never a victim. You were never enslaved. You have never done anything wrong in your whole life. You're neither a sinner nor a saint. You're neither wrong nor right. You're neither black nor white. You're neither male nor female. You're not beta or alpha. All has been illusions, and you've been living an illusion. But you're so young, it's going to be like you missed nothing. And that girl that you still think about, that was never love. She never loved you, and you never loved her. It was always both of you were using one another to get a false sense of identity, love or whatever, right? It was never love. You have never loved her, and she has never loved you.
Yeah, you're right. It just won't leave my head, but I just gotta watch it.
Yeah.
I'll let it go.
Absolutely. Amazing. Any other questions?
Amazing.
I know. You stay with it, though, man. And let those voices, Paul in the Bible said, in the Word, Paul said that he finally realized that he couldn't change himself. He had been trying. He had been trying to do right, trying to prevent doing wrong, but he had no control. He couldn't make himself not do right. I mean, not do wrong, not be right, and not do whatever he said. It's the same thing in every human being, and they think it's them, and it's not. So it's the same thing. So just relax. The Spirit of God has defeated the darkness, and the darkness don't even know that it's dark. Evil people don't know that they're evil. They think they're good. Satan doesn't know he's evil. He thinks he's good. And so it's just all an illusion. You'll be fine. Stay with it.
Sure. Thank you, Jesse.
Keep me updated, but you stay with it.
I will.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you a lot.
All right.
Have a good one.
Okay. Oh, amazing. Jay out of California. Jay, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing, man? Happy Thanksgiving to all you guys.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you. You too.
Great job. I called in. I'm not going to ask you if you remember because you don't ask a black man if he ever remembers.
That's right.
But I had called in earlier this month. I think it was the 5th or something like that. But I had told you my wife had left and she took all, the couch, the sink, the everything, and emptied out my bank account and all that good stuff.
That does ring a bell. I do remember that.
Do you remember? Okay. So, yeah. I've been doing the silent prayer now. It's been 24 days. Man, I just feel great. I feel good. I feel at peace. But I had one question for you. My question is, so my wife, she won't talk to me, but she's running around and talking to my cousins. And, my cousin's going to get married here next year. And she's telling her, like, oh, I can't wait to see you at the wedding and all this other bullshit. But, I'm just trying to figure out why she's trying to talk to them when me and her obviously aren't even together anymore. You know what I mean?
One reason and one reason only. She's evil.
Oh, yeah, I know that all women are evil.
That's the only reason she's doing this. She's evil.
What an evil spirit.
And so why is it bothering you that she's doing that?
It's not really bothering me. I could care less.
Right.
I just want to know why.
Because she's evil. And she want to know if you, let's say you say to your family member, why are you still talking to this woman? Why don't you just dump her, right? And if they go back and tell her what you said, she's going to get a thrill knowing that she's getting a reaction from you. Because evil people love getting a thrill from causing other people to feel pain. So if I were you, do what you want. I wouldn't even bother. I wouldn't even think about it. I would just work on myself and let the world go. And just work on you, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, this last 3 weeks have been phenomenal, man. I've been at peace. I don't have to worry about bitching and complaining and nagging.
Yep.
And this has been good. The day after we talked, Donald Trump got elected,
Yes, amazing.
So, what an amazing month.
Yeah.
And it's going to be even better 4 years for us, man. I truly believe that.
If that wedding come and you don't want to go, and your cousin, if your cousin asks you, are you going? If you don't want to go, just say, no, I'm not coming. And she asks, well, why? Why? You just go, you having my ex there, and she's not even a part of the family. And if you're going to have her there, I'm not coming. But don't be angry. Just say, I'm not coming, and you don't have to go. Or if you do go, you can totally ignore the S as though she's not even there. Just don't be angry.
Yep. I'm going to, if she does, if she is there, I'm just going to walk past her like I don't even know her.
Absolutely. Just don't be angry. Don't resent her.
No, and that's the mistake I was making previously.
Yes.
That I would let the anger get the best of me. But now, after talking to you and having 3 weeks to just, do the silent prayer and stuff.
Yeah. I got it.
I honestly don't have no anger towards the situation.
Right on. Well, you stay with it. Stay with it. I got to take a break. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Back in a moment. Back in a moment. Thank you.